What am I doing here all alone? I got things that I gotta do. Waiting for my friends.
What up, Amoeba? What up, Bilbo7624? What up, The Baron? Flip Magazine? Simply Green? Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah. What up, everyone?
If you're on X, come on over to YouTube. Maybe watch on both, because we'll take the views anywhere which way we can. But YouTube's where it's at right now until X kind of figures it out. Welcome to the Salty and Savage Show. I'm Salty.
I'm Savage. What up?
What up?
It's
Dude, so Wednesday. I don't know, man. I'm still feeling Friday. We're doing Wednesday. We're gonna try it for a few, but maybe we could have a poll later on as the show goes on. We get more people in the audience. Maybe there's a poll that we can do where we ask the audience Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday for a. Savage is gonna say no to Friday because he's like, I got things to do. I got people to see.
I really like.
I gotta go to the bar.
And Fridays are kind of a. I don't know. It's.
But what if the audience? You know, I'm just saying.
I'm in a small burgeoning community, and it's been a hell of a day. Today's been a busy day for everybody. I feel like it is. Have you been outside? It's hotter than a witch's titty out there.
Well, I live in a forest, so every time it's 10 to 15 degrees cooler. So I just feel sorry for all you poor people that have to live among the city people, not in your forest.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, I'm right on the river, but it is warm and balmy today here. But we're getting
you probably play your video games on a console too. The next thing you're going to tell me is you play video games on a console.
Yes, I do.
Yes, such a peasant.
Yeah. All right,
such a peasant.
I know. It looks like I'm just hearing my.
Wait!
My
the Emmy's behind. The Emmy's back. The Emmy made the trip from California to Iowa. The Emmy is there, safe and sound.
I got two, but there's only one on display.
I've got two. I have two. You're not just Emmy nominated. You're Emmy Award winning.
I'm full of shit too. So what's up, everybody? Yeah, super stoked to have everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up once again. You guys are freaking always here. You guys are here. You're more reliably here than I am.
Yes, it's true.
We
are
give
you a lot of grace. Moving across the country is no small feat. We're glad that you did it safely through all the different tornado storms that apparently you missed along the way. But I think it'll be good to be back on the regular. Maybe Hump Day is the day, because I do like Hump Day.
Might be. Hump Day is pretty great. I do. Yeah, I feel great about. I feel good about Wednesdays. We can always test out other days. That's not. It's not a problem.
But we're going to be doing a lot more here at the Salty and Savage Show, besides just our weekly podcast where we talk about, pop culture and what's happening in the news and what's semi-relevant, or also maybe just a week old, because that's what we do here. Day late, a dollar short.
Pick something offensive and tell you about it.
Yep. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about a few different things. Acolyte, as per usual, as of late.
Yes.
The latest episode dropped yesterday, I guess. I'm always a day late with these, so I made sure to watch it today so that I'm all caught up. We have some interesting news. Disney possibly rumored to be allegedly, reportedly, supposedly taking control of another IP. Some more of your childhood nostalgia being destroyed by Disney. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and check that out in a little bit.
You know what I feel like? I feel like Atreyu in the Swamp of Sadness with Artex, and Artex is my inner child. I'm Atreyu, and the Swamp of Sadness is Disney.
Come on! Artex! Fight against the sadness, Artex! Artex, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you.
Oh my God! I will start.
It's my inner child being murdered.
Start crying right now.
Oh, I can't say that word. Being Minecrafted by Disney.
And Spaceballs 2. Finally, Mel Brooks decided, he's like, maybe I'll wait till I'm in my 90s to make sequels to all of my great stuff from when I was 40 and 50. Like, holy cow. But we are all excited because
Going plaid again. That's what it should be called. Spaceballs 2 going plaid again.
They've gone plaid. So good. God, man. The jokes. It's like in Austin Powers, though. You really hope that we're not just going to recycle all the jokes. You got to make references, but you can't recycle everything.
But I see your hat there, Savage. Do you want to tell us the sad news? Do you want to tell us the sad news?
Some super sad news from the world of baseball. I won't say Major League Baseball because MLB as an organization is trash. But sad news from the world of baseball. Former giant in the community and giant among men, Willie Mays, has finally passed away. It wasn't like we were waiting for it, but it was like, holy cow, Willie Mays is still doing it. He was at the park all the time. He was showing up he was at games this season. I mean, the dude was an absolute monster. And crazily enough, the game that's happening tomorrow, where the San Francisco Giants play the St. Louis Cardinals at the Rickwood Stadium in Rickwood, is it Alabama or Georgia? I don't remember. Somewhere in the South. It's an original Negro League stadium, and it's where Willie Mays got his start in the Negro League, something along those lines. His start, but he got before he made his transition to MLB. So they were going to honor him already. It was already going to be a huge day, man. And now the entire thing is just, you know what? This is going to be a Willie Mays game, and I'm super stoked. Not stoked that Fox has, I think, hijacked the broadcast, and you can't even watch it if you have an MLB.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
So we'll see about that. But maybe they'll.
I will say this as a longtime Dodger fan, no longer Dodger fan because I don't like who owns the team now, and I'm protesting you. I was really happy to see Jackie Robinson's number retired across the league. I would argue and say, even though I hate the Giants with a passion because you guys are terrible and the dark side of baseball, I think they should retire Willie Mays' number across the major leagues as well, and those be the two numbers that get retired.
It goes without saying. I believe it was 24.
Can I show you guys something special? Oh, make you jealous? I'm going to make you jealous right now.
It'd be super cool because it'd be 42 and 24. It'd be the...
that would be dope.
I'm
going to show you guys something super cool. You guys want to see something super cool?
Oh my God, are you guys ready for this?
Look at that.
Y'all ready for this?
Oh, yeah. Hangs up on my shelf right there.
Willie Mays. Is that a rookie card?
Kid. I think it's his second year card, not officially his rookie card, but some people consider this his rookie card. I don't know. I think it's awesome. One of the greats. If you love baseball and you don't know who Willie Mays is, do you love baseball? I don't know. I don't think you might, but yeah. Yeah.
It was I couldn't believe it when I heard the news. I just said no, just out loud, just no, because in 2 days' time the whole Rickwood game was supposed to be for him, and it's a big deal. I got choked up a little bit as a massive Giant and baseball fan.
But he was 93, so that's a good life lived, right? He was a good life lived.
He was at the game so often. Everybody was so surprised and stoked every time he showed up. It was I mean, the guy, he'll always be a legend. As long as baseball exists, he will be a legend, and that's pretty great.
Real quick, we should. There's on the back of the card. I was reading this on the back as I showed it to everybody. I love the old baseball cards. They have the dugout quiz. Ooh. I mean, could you imagine being a kid in the 50s? Like, baseball cards were so much cooler than they are now, or even when I was a kid in the 90s.
You got some gum.
So you got this dugout. Yeah, you got some gum. You got the dugout quiz. So the dugout quiz, and let's see if people in the chat can answer.
All right, chat. Dugout quiz.
I can read it. I can't even read it because I don't have my glasses. Let's put the glasses on. Are you guys ready and see who can answer this one? It's which player was tagged with the nickname the Iron Horse?
The Iron Horse.
Which baseball player was tagged with the nickname the Iron Horse? Answer in the chat. Answer in the chat.
Not to be confused with the brothel in the deep desert in Nevada, Iron Horse. It's a former mine, now whorehouse. Iron Horse. It's a ghost, the beacon of the community, really.
And that's spelt 304s. 30. fours.
Fours. All right. So yeah, nobody in the chat has any. They're like, October. I don't know.
Really? No one knows? Not even using Google to look it up? Okay, anyway. We'll have the answer later unless someone brings it up in the chat.
Someone will come through.
Fail. You're all terrible base. There we go. Shadowpunk with the correct answer. All right. So
woo, Shadowpunk, woo.
What do we want to talk about first? I want to talk about Spaceballs first, man.
Do we want to talk about Spaceballs first? Okay, I was like, I just watched Acolyte, but let's talk about Spaceballs first because I have the article, and it is it's a story that we're gonna tell you. Spaceballs sequel in development at Amazon MGM. We're not really surprised about that, with Josh Gad starring and Mel Brooks producing. So I'll give you one guess who Josh Gad is playing, and if he's playing anybody else, he doesn't belong in this movie.
And no, he does not belong in any other role than this role. And if he's not doing this role, then he shouldn't be doing any role other than sitting there and looking chubby.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
Needless to say, we're pretty freaking stoked.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
To get all of this action back, the further details are that Josh Greenbaum will direct the film from a screenplay by Samet, Dan Hernandez, and Gad, while Kevin Slater was produced. Probably just early stages in the plot details are being kept under wraps. Amazon declined to comment. Of course they did, because, it is what it is. But what are your thoughts, bro?
I don't know how I feel about it. Sometimes things don't need sequels. Like, my first reaction is sometimes you don't need a sequel, and then you definitely don't need a sequel when it's this, long after. I guess it's better to do a sequel than it is to do a remake. But how do you do, what's the story you're going to tell, and how, unless they're going to do like a little bit of an amalgam, like kind of what they did the first Spaceballs, which was an amalgam of the three films. If they're going to do an amalgam of like the prequels or something like that, it could be funny. I just don't think it's going to be good. I think that the thing about Spaceballs is it needs to be able to make fun of Star Wars, and it needs to be able to make fun of it hard. And there's a lot more to make fun of Star Wars now than there was with the first three movies. Like a lot more to make fun of.
I feel like,
and are they going to do that?
I don't know. I mean, you hope that with a good writing team, they can actually put together something that's not just an Austin Powers same jokes over and over again, just a slightly different fashion. I imagine that Mel Brooks will hopefully, if he doesn't do it in live action, like they'll do some sort of crazy, awesome, maybe hilarious, weird animation to make him yogurt again. And
I mean, with AI and all the stuff especially like we saw it in what was the one where they blew up the moon base? What was that one called? Rogue One. You had the computer animation and it looked really bad, and that's 5 years later, 6 years later, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to have a Mel Brooks, as the president of the Empire, and
still.
But the thing is like, are they gonna tiptoe? Are they gonna shove the DEI stuff in as like just this is it, or are they gonna make? Because the thing that I would say Mel Brooks of the 1970s and the 1980s would have done is he would have made fun of all this like really cringy, forced and awkward DEI pronoun stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there would be a scene where they'll line a bunch of people up and it'll be like, all right, do we have this guy? What about one of these? We have one of those? What about one of these?
Yeah.
We have one of these? All right, great. We got one of everyone. Now, is everybody happy? And, it turned to the camera or something.
Yeah.
Like it feels like something that Mel Brooks would hit on.
Yeah, and then there would be a character literally named they, them. And a lot of other stuff, and they would just make fun of it. I just don't know if like Josh Gad is kind of leading the charge. He's pretty woke. I think it's more woke. Like we're not gonna. And I can't imagine the guy has any kind of sense of humor about himself. I don't see these people, these modern, a lot of these modern Hollywood people that pretend to be comedy, have an ability to make fun of themselves, because that's who you need to make fun of the most is yourself. And I don't think they're gonna do that, man. I really don't. There's no way they're gonna push the envelope like Blazing Saddles did. There's no way.
I mean, you'd like to think they can, but like the joke almost, I don't know. It's like the jokes that they make now have to be like so meta and so absurd, and you're like, wait, why is that funny? And it's only because a super niche, part of the community like even uses that word or would even know what that something reference. And I feel like it's got to be like broad sweeping. It's got to be like almost not like the scary movies and whatnot, but how they just like were relentless and went after everything in a very Mel Brooks fashion. It was much more, over the top and slapstick even, but you gotta go in, and you gotta go in hard.
Yeah.
Gotta go hard into the paint.
You gotta go hard.
So the question is you get Rick Moranis? Rick Moranis comes back. I mean, he's only, it's like he ended his career for so long, and then he like came back for one role or something like that. I don't remember. He was in something, or he was supposed to be in something.
Well, yeah, because he took a long indefinite hiatus because his wife passed. Take care of his kids, and spend time with his children. Yeah,
like 2 years
and he's
ago,
coming back.
He was supposed to do, or he was talking about doing. I don't know.
For Lord Dark Helmet.
For Lord Dark Helmet.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
So,
and that's how I used to feel every day working in Hollywood.
Crazy is that everybody in the office feels that way. Every single person is like, "Oh, these guys are all assholes." They tell their spouse, or whatever at home, like, "Yeah, these guys are all assholes." And then the person right across them is like, "It's chicken lips and assholes over here." Like, get out of here. It's but you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I usually am not. The longer an argument goes, the more I'm likely to be right.
Is that how that operates?
Oh yeah. I mean, the other night I was in a debate with a guy. I said something, and I was totally talking out of my ass, but I thought I was right. And then he pulled it up, and it turned out I was wrong. And he was like, "Ha!" And I was like, "Looks like I'm wrong."
Oops.
It happens.
Do you think is there another recent sequel that you can think of to something that like didn't they have a new Ghostbusters that just came out or something? I think I just missed that.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. How does everyone feel about the new Ghostbuster stuff? Should we watch it? Should we?
Yeah, I didn't see either of the two new Ghostbusters films that are connected, where they introduce the kids, like the grandkids of Egon or something like that, and then they bring in Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson and everybody. Did someone say debate? He's the masturbator.
Welcome, Frost Comics. If you guys don't know about Frost Comics, you should check out his channel. He hosts a lot of different debates where people talk about comic skate and stuff. Oftentimes, it's a neckbeard versus a normie. Those are quite interesting because the neckbeards usually get super my panties in a twist. It's good stuff. Unless you don't have a lot of time, because they last forever. But you should check out his channel, Frost Comics. I'm sure the Baron is looking right now for a link. Oh, and there it is. As always, the Baron right on the job.
And there it is.
Yeah, and if you are watching on X, we would ask you to come over to YouTube and at least subscribe and like, and then go back to X and watch it. Hopefully, we'll get some monetization on X, because they're starting to do that on the X, so that'll be kind of cool. But Elon,
are
please,
they?
Get your together, man. Get it.
Meme
together.
Lord, please help us out here.
So yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I hold out reservation for Spaceballs 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm not, or I like Spaceballs 2. The plaid is back. As the tagline. If I was going to do the movie
again
poster,
or something.
Yeah, plaid again. I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to be good. I actually think that it's going to be a lot of cringe. I think that they're going to try to be really funny and make fun of like a lot of right-wing people, and then they're going to make it really safe for everyone else, and when it really should just be a 360-degree sprinkler right in the middle of the yard, and nobody's safe. But they won't do that. They don't do that anymore. They really don't make comedies like that anymore, and it sucks. And how it makes me feel is this.
Did you see any of History of the World Part 2 on Hulu?
History of the World. Is Flip City still here? Oh, wait. Flip City's still here. Real quick. Check out Flip City Magazine, too. They have a YouTube channel and a magazine. You should go check out their channel. It's pretty fun. It goes way more political than this show does, but it's still a good time, and it's funny. You should check it out. What was that? Sorry, Savage.
History of the World Part 2, the series that Mel Brooks did on Hulu as kind of a sequel to History of the World Part 1. Did you see any of that?
I did not. Was that
It was
good?
done. It was done. Here's the thing. I'm such a big fan of all of his old stuff, and I watched, I think it's like maybe like 4 episodes, and it's broken up. It's very much like watching a bunch of Drunk History episodes, is how they kind of broke it up into, you know, it didn't feel cinematic in any way, shape, or form. It felt like you were watching a Drunk History, like a Hulu TV show. Now, there were some really great people who were involved in it. There's some hilarious people that were involved. Nick Kroll, I think, did a bunch of stuff as well. But I think Jack Black was in one of them. But I watched the first one and I was like, oh yeah, that was pretty funny. And I just couldn't be super stoked to watch the next ones. And I just kind of ended up watching other stuff. And now it's just on the list of things I haven't finished watching, which is terrible, but that's just how everything feels now. Like, it doesn't feel as good as, and it was funny, but when you're watching it and it feels like just another episode of Drunk History, which was also a ridiculously amazing show and really should kind of continue going. Like, somebody else needs to pick up that show. I think they may have gotten like shut down for like safety concerns, but that show was amazing and it was so funny.
I've never seen Drunk History. I had a buddy that I used to work with that was an extra in a lot of the scenes because he had a really good beard, and his beard was so great that it looked like it was like from the 1800s and early 1700s. So he's always like one of those guys in the background that's like, I'm Josiah.
I had a buddy who I was watching an episode, and he popped up in one of those older ones in a series of like black and white photographs, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Andy. And I was like, dude, I just saw you on Drunk History. What is this about? He's like, oh, I don't know. I went with a buddy, one time, and we were just shooting this thing. Like, I don't know what it was. And he's totally that guy who'd be like, oh, I don't know what I did. And it turns out to be some hilarious show. Like, dude, you got to watch this.
See, the thing back then is I only had one TV, and I had to play video games, and it was like, watch TV, play video games. Watch TV,
peasant with only one television.
Games. I know. I was poor, man. I was.
What did you even do?
I was not. Well, I spent all my money on other things like partying. We have a question from the New Adventures of Henry. When's issue 2 of Sounds Too Good available? It is being printed right now. I was doing a little bit of back and forth on making sure that it was going to look right. We had a hard copy proof come in last week. I had some changes that we made. We made those changes, and then I got another proof sent to me, and we're good to go. I literally finally greenlit it this morning to do the full run of issue 2. So that should be done and shipped to us next week. So we will be putting it in the store next week and shipping it out as soon as orders come in, man. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. Uncapped in the chat. What up, Uncapped? Welcome as usual. Appreciate it. New Adventures of Henry. Yes. The chat just continues to be incredible.
Yeah, we love the chat here. We really, really do. So you're positive on Spaceballs too?
I think, well, I'm a little
You're
leery.
hopeful.
I'm a little leery. I'm super hopeful though, because I feel like there's enough people involved that it won't get so woke. Like, they'll probably make a really solid, turn at making fun of the woke and the necessity for the DEI and that kind of stuff. Like, it would be extremely funny to have a scene, and it would be very Mel Brooks to turn and be like, all right, do we got a black guy who looks Jewish? Do we got a Jewish guy who looks black? We need a girl who looks like a guy who looks like a girl, a this and that, a dude with a dong on his head, a thing with and just like, it just gets more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And they're like, all right, we're covered. Next, go to the next scene. Yeah.
So your Spaceballs 2, The Return of Excitement.
Spaceballs 2. There are possibilities.
I am Spaceballs 2, A Lost Hope.
A lost hope.
I have no hope. I have no hope that this is going to be anything good. I think
Really?
it's going to be 1.5 stars out of 5. I think it will be 1.5 stars out of 5. I think it'll do better than Acolyte, and it'll do worse than the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's where it's going to fall.
I don't know
That's where it's
how
gonna fall.
well. I don't know how well Acolyte is doing, or how poorly it's doing right now. I mean, I haven't been. Normally, I watch all the breakdowns for these shows that I'm watching, but I haven't been doing any new Rockstars stuff or anything like that. I haven't been following what the Easter eggs are going on because I've been wanting to come in with a fresh eye and a fresh face. And really interesting in this episode of Acolyte was great because my lady called something out. And I was like, wait, what? And then it hit me, and she was totally right. And I think she figured out she figured it out before I did. I guess I wasn't paying attention. And she was like, this seems kind of obvious. Even though I don't talk like this, this is what I sound like.
Well, we want to wait for the Acolyte review for a little bit later.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of Star Wars stuff. This should be called our Star Wars Especial.
Ooh, muy especial.
Because we got a lot. We're going to have 2 top 5s for you guys tonight because we missed last week's top 5. So we decided to make it up to you by having 2, not 4, but 2
top 5s.
2 top 5s. And there is a poll up. Don't forget to vote in our poll. We actually do want your feedback.
Oh, there is a poll up.
We consider your feedback here on the Salty and Savage show. But yeah, so there's other exciting news. What's the other exciting news you wanted to talk about?
Oh, not necessarily exciting, but the possibility of Disney snatching up more IPs.
Yeah. Stealing more of your childhood.
All right.
And ruining it.
Now let me just share something. And this is what caught a lot of people off guard the other day. It was this image. It popped up all over Facebook. It's Disney, The Never-Ending Story 2024. Now the image you're like, that 100% looks like an image that Disney would release, but they would release it through proper channels, and anybody could have made this at any time because like everybody lost their minds, and understandably so. 'Cause it's like, wait a minute,
in a good way or in a bad way?
In a good
or
for
a
me
mixed
and you.
bag.
But it was mostly are you serious right now? We saw what you guys have done to the well-loved franchises of like today and yesteryear, and you want to take a super duper coveted film from and this story from years ago that just crushed and molded at the same time some childhoods, and you're gonna let Disney do wokeify it. But what happened is there was some pretty quick, although everybody right now that image is still being shared all over the place, something else is being shared, some information about whether or not it's actually happening. And because the once popular IPs that we all loved seem to be getting snapped up left and right. And many people assumed that Disney was the company that was reviving. Oh, is there a train?
Is there a train? You know what we should do real quick, just while that train's going on, is that we should just watch this. Mute your mic. Have you heard of this guy? So I found this guy a long time ago. You guys, I mean, he's got 1.5 million subscribers. 331 E-Rock. Super freak. I love it. It's probably some kind of elite speak that I don't speak. But dude, guy just thrashes, man. Look at that. I love it. I love it. All right. The train's on.
Most of the train has gone by, but nonetheless, people were pretty not excited to hear that Disney may have stolen their stuff. But what actually is happening is that Michael Ende Productions, who I'm sorry, the rights have been sold to Michael Ende Productions and Seesaw Films. Michael Ende is the guy who actually wrote The Neverending Story in 1979. Now he was old when that happened because he was born in like 1928 or something like that. But his production company and the people that are now taking care of his estate now own the rights once again to The Neverending Story, and they're having Seesaw Films, I saw some stuff that they had done before, but Seesaw Films. So they have, let's see, anything, The Power of the Dog.
Didn't see it.
Let's see, Lion. Yeah, The Stranger. That's supposed to be super interesting.
Didn't see it. Anything I've seen.
Right. Macbeth, Mr. Holmes.
Ooh, that seems interesting.
How to Talk to Girls at Parties.
That is required reading for young men who are kind of dumb now because of all the corn.
Because of the corn. So, well, anyway, they've done some movies. They've done some films. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this. But apparently,
so you're saying we would probably trust them a lot quicker than we would trust, say, an evil empire like Disney that decides to destroy everything.
Instead of dragging our childhood dreams into the swamps of sadness, yes, it appears that a production company that doesn't have crazy political ties or very clear agenda is going to be making this. People who will make hopefully a beautiful film. Hopefully there'll be like a lot of cool CGI and stuff. There could be a lot of interesting new tech that they use, but the concept of the nothing is so incredible and daunting and frightening. And how do you, aside from clouds rolling in, like how do you even personify that? How do you even put that on film? And to create that feeling of the bounce back and forth between the real world and the kid reading the story and then the story actually happening, and the two worlds then colliding and coming together, however that happens. But I fucking loved it when I was a kid. I would still watch it today. I will still rock out to that song. I would blast it in my truck going down the street and get looked at by other dudes with beards, but that's fine. Because they're just not comfortable with themselves to be able to listen to The Neverending Story blasting down a street in Iowa.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say to that.
While you were telling your story, I was trying to pull up some stuff to share, and I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to share it because of the corporation we were just talking about. It's very shady. It's very shady. So we're just going to do on the fly screen grabs so that we can talk about the next thing that we want to talk about. So,
sure.
Acolyte 4. Acolyte episode 4.
Acolyte 4. All right. So Acolyte episode 4. We open on the planet where a Wookiee Jedi is hiding away, and he is chilling like a villain and trying to he's been keeping it low in the forest, in these crazy creepy forest for decades now, and what's her name? It's not May, not Osha, it's May. May is out to find him.
Yeah, so so we got a story of Acolyte, Sith chick, we're not sure. She's killing all these Jedi. It's super woke. There's just all kinds of nonsense going on. They were able to shove their they them pronouns right in there, and I think
it was so funny. It was so funny because it was like
awkward, though.
It was genuinely like normally that would not even like pop up on my radar. Normally,
Yeah.
the way that the exchange happened, they made it like a very natural exchange, but it was so clear because of the context of what it's in that they were like, "How can we we need somebody to acknowledge that somebody may not be a he or she."
Yeah.
That has to be. We just need somebody to acknowledge that, and even if it's just offhanded, just perchance, let's make it look supernatural. And they thought they slipped it under the rug so well, and I was like, that was pretty damn good. That was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was not though. I disagree. I think what it is like it was.
I hear you.
It takes you out of the story because it would have been way more subterfuge doing that because it was an alien character. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the alien character.
Right, he looked like a little squirrel or like a large rodent of sorts.
Like, so all you had to do was be like, are they part of the crew or what are they? And you would have been able to subterfuge that in and just be all like, ooh, look, we snuck it in. Because it's an alien and you're like, I don't know what that thing is. It's an it. Like, you know, is it an animal? Is it a person? However, they had to do he, they, which then just is like, no one talks like that. Like, I know like weirdos and mutants with pink hair talk like that nowadays. Like the last like 5 seconds, you know, the mutants talk that way. But in the history of humanity, no one has talked this way. In the history of the English language, no one has talked this way. And so when you force it in like you do, it's just so, it takes you right out of the storytelling. Because now I know you're preaching to me. Now I am very, like, you've been preaching to me, but like now it's just so like, stop. I don't care. The only time that you use they, them when referring to someone is when they're demon possessed, like in the Bible. Okay? That's the only time. That is the only time you do that. No one goes by them.
It's when it's a very specific situation, and it's when they're demon possessed, like in the Bible.
I'm sorry, guys. I know that that's controversial, but I'm sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry, dude. Because you're a singular person. I will refer to your family as they, them. I will refer to your crew as they, them. I'll refer to you and I as they, them, because literally it's, oh, those guys, they, salty and savage, plural. But when you say that my pronouns are they, that do you have multiple personality disorder?
Do you have multiple disorder personality?
You know, like, hey, I'm all about calling Blair White a girl. I'm fine with that. Okay.
Who?
But that dude that walked into the GameStop, that's a dude. I don't care what anyone says. He can say it's ma'am all he wants. It's man. Okay. Not ma'am. It's man. You can get all mad with your fake prosthetic bouncing around with your really, like, and seriously, if you're gonna do the makeup, can you just go into the mall, go up to the MAC counter, talk to some of the young ladies, and learn how to do your makeup a little bit better? Come on. Come on. Come on. Anyway. Okay. That's how I felt. I think I got it. Let's pull it up. This character, which was, I don't know how I feel about this character. You guys tell me how you feel about
that's
this
right.
character.
I forgot we were still talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, we're talking about they, him, whatever.
Okay. Anyway. You gonna pull something up? What do you got?
I don't know if they were adorable.
Yeah.
So it was this character, and they were used as like a tracker, like a bloodhound, essentially. And it's like, why couldn't you just had a dog? Everyone loves dogs, but I think it was because they could have we could do this pronoun thing.
Basil,
just, like, slip it in and like, you know, do.
You mean it's the character is almost like is expositionist, like, so it's like Basil exposition.
Yeah.
Another reference to Austin Powers. It's terrible. Okay, you're welcome.
And I'm we got a lot of people that have opinions, and IGN's never going to show you the based opinions. They're only going to show you the supporting ones, right? Because IGN's kind of sold out. But we got some funny memes around this character. I think a space bloodhound would have been way cooler because everyone loves dogs, man, and that would have just been better. But this is Basington, so Paddington Bear is Basil. I don't know.
So,
man. I don't know.
So
I just feel like they can't do anything right anymore because this character wasn't cute. It was weird. Like it was like you could. It's almost like the people that are doing Acolyte are just incapable of doing anything good. You all like every Star Wars thing has to have a cute little thing, right? That's like Lucas standard is like a cute little. Ooh,
they got to have the little. She has their little pip droid, but now they need like an Ewok character.
And you couldn't even do it, dude. An Ewok character would have been 10 times better. Do you not like? Honestly, if you had an Ewok character drop in,
like
people would have been like, "Yeah, I want to watch now." Even though the Ewoks are the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars.
An early bridge of an Ewok, you know, because this is years before.
Yeah, but the Ewoks were around. I mean, they're like an Aboriginal, like, you know,
I
native,
understand,
like tribal.
They wouldn't necessarily be identical, but you'd be like, oh yeah, is it an Ewok or is it like a small Wookiee? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Ooh, a race of small Wookiees, that would be dope. And their trackers.
A race of well, that's what Ewoks are. You just described Ewoks. Well,
I know, no, but Ewoks are still kind of like even though, you know, they're mildly cannibalistic and whatnot, like they're still kind of like teddy bears. But I mean like slender, like athletic Ewoks.
Yeah.
That are ready to that will kick ass, and they work in numbers and they work quickly. That would be an interesting movie.
Did you notice the Jedi that doesn't belong?
Yeah, the random guy who's like, oh well, he's gonna die in this episode. The one random dude who's just like leading the.
Well, no, that's a different thought, but more like. So let's see if we have it here.
I'm like, the Jedi doesn't belong. Yeah, there's one random guy who they don't talk to, they don't name the entire time they're in the walk. He's gonna die. Yeah.
So well, that's like. The white guy, I think the white straight guy in Star Wars has become the red shirt from Star Trek.
He wasn't even a white straight guy. Whatever. He was. Yeah, I think he may have been of color, and he's got like a weird patchy beard and whatnot. But it doesn't matter. It was just very clear that like, okay, this guy is just there as filler. What are you referring to then?
I'm referring to this guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But so this is supposed to happen 100 years before the original film.
He can't get that off the top of his head. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He's trying.
So there's this Jedi who
knows
looks,
there?
Yeah, like Dickhead. So Jedi Dickhead. He is supposed to be. He was in the prequels. And so this is kind of like happening like 40 years before potentially he was born. So they're already having continuity issues, but it is the Force, so you could explain it. I just wish they would just bring in new characters if they're going to do this.
Hold on
a second.
Dumb. Are you sure this is supposed to be the same guy that's in?
Yes, it is supposed to be. The name in the credits is that character.
Then most likely they're going to wrap it up in a bow that says his race lives super long, and this is his earlier. You know, this is the earlier years in him doing.
Jedi Dickhead here. He makes a little bit of a cameo, and that's in the credits. It was Jedi Dickhead, the same, Jedi that was in, or is Penis Head? Is that going to get us thrown off YouTube? Which is more appropriate for YouTube? So Jedi Pee-Pee Head, Jedi Phallic Head. You guys have fun in the chat with your names about Jedi.
We'll just
Porpoise Nose.
Make it Jeddick.
The Jeddick. He's not just a Jedi. He's a Jeddick.
He's the Jeddick.
They're like an advanced. They're like above Jedi Masters. They're just straight up Jeddick.
They're Jeddicks.
Yeah.
All right. That's terrible.
Anyway, we've kicked that horse. So he makes an appearance. It's not. But the funny thing is like watching the whole thing. You're like, the acting's just like she might have been the best actress in the entire thing, other than the guy from Squid Games.
There's a few people who are really good, and the rest is just like like a bunch of filler. And you're even like that freeze frame. Like you look at the back wall of that set. You're like, there was such either that's a painting or there was such little time done to the detail. Like it doesn't even look like it looks like a TV Star Wars. Yeah. Like a Star Trek set. It looks like a Star Trek set.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a set from Star Wars.
And then all the tertiary like Jedi and stuff, they're all like, oh, I'm a Jedi Master and I'm a woman, and I'm a Jedi Master and I'm a woman, and all the women are bossing around the men. So she's like, I'm bossing, Jeddick around. She's been in like basically anytime there's a BBC mystery where someone gets murdered, she's one of the character actors in that show. And it's but the acting, like, oh, the worst of all is that green bald lady. She can't act, and she has so many lines. She can't act worth crap.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like this pivotal person who's like holding a bunch of stuff together, and she's very much like, look, I have to say these lines right now, other Jedi, and you're making us all look bad. I was in the makeup chair for so long this morning. Let's not fuck this up, okay?
So I gotta look her up. I should have had this all ready for you guys. I apologize, but like, I had a different plan and it's not working.
I think the show revealed its cards already.
Oh yeah, way early. I mean, way long ago. But this is the lady I'm talking about. So my biggest beef here was, okay, so bad actress, but then you could kind of like go, oh, but she's a Jedi Master and she's in charge of all these other people, so she's not going to really have a lot of emotion or any range because she's like centered and one with the Force. Except there's a scene where she's like all like, she goes angry, you know, withholding sex wife, where she's all, and you're just like, whoa, toxic woman alert, toxic, like, or that time of the month alert, that time of, like, she's PMSing and she's all, and it's like so cringy bad. I mean, the lady can't act. So then you're like, oh, so she doesn't have her emotions in control, but she's also the Jedi Master in charge of all these other Jedi Master. Like, really?
There was definitely a moment where I was like, she sounds like she's being a little, revealing a little too much emotion right here for someone who's supposed to be this composed Jedi Master. That as do all of them at some point. They all reveal something, which is the basis of the whole thing, saying that like you shouldn't, you know, restricting yourselves and going by this ridiculous moral code that you've set is absolutely absurd, and it's only going to restrict you, especially when those who have a similar power actually discover, you know, a better way to use it and are more powerful than you.
Yeah.
It's like
I think in the Spaceballs, if they were going to be really funny and just make fun of everyone, there would be a scene where they have this lady Jedi, bald, green, LBGTQIRSP Jedi, and then when she starts flipping out, the other guy like pulls out the like a card or like a little computer and goes, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just checking what day of the month it is."
Oof. I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, man. Even my wife is laughing at that one because it's funny.
No, sure. I can hear. It's we're actually in the same. All of us are actually in the same house. We're just separated by one room. We're just fooling everybody, pretending we're in different states.
She just texted me and said hilarious. So that's why when people go, "You're so misogynist," I get encouraged by my wife. She's the one that's telling me half these jokes, guys. I'm serious. She's the one. Even the Baron agrees with my wife. Women and composed Jedi Master? What?
So check it out. So what then happens is, so May is now on this, May the bad twin, which is really interesting because the actress, what she's done, the subtleties that she's done to make it look like, you know, she's one versus the other is very much like she gets
so
like
subtle that you don't even really notice.
Yeah, she has like the oh no face for OSHA, because she's like, oh shit, and always like violating OSHA codes, and then May is like always angry and is giving like porn star bedroom eyes or something. She's always looking and leering and you're like, oh, okay, well now I'll definitely know, because one of you is doe-eyed and the other one looks like they're always smelling farts.
So wait, she learned acting from the lady that taught soap opera acting to Joey Tribbiani in Friends. That's where she learned acting.
Yeah.
What character was that? Oh my gosh, was that Susan Sarandon's character? Was it Susan? Whoever the actress was that taught Joey Tribbiani how to do
somebody
acting.
in the chat. Somebody in the chat will know. I think Susan Sarandon sounds right.
Smelling a fart, and then also being surprised that you're smelling a fart.
Surprised.
Dear God, I have a nose itch.
Oh no, he's got to itch his nose, folks. Oh, he's gonna go in. Oh man, I can see it. Oh dear. What do you got, a Buick up there?
Well, no, I'm not picking my nose.
No,
I mean,
I'm kidding.
you know,
I'm kidding.
But I would if I needed to. I don't care.
I mean,
I'll just do that on camera though, because that's gross and entertaining. Me scratching my nose like a weirdo is not what people want to see, you know. But me like going up there and digging for gold, you know.
So I think
that might actually happen.
I don't know if it's a red. I don't know if it's a red herring, or if the show has kind of like, you know, revealed its cards way too early in regards to who the dark side wielder is. Because as soon as they landed on the planet and the best friend guy was you know, saying that like, oh, you know, you got to go here, and she's like, you've been here before? And he's like, yeah, you know, I had to do this, that. And it was like, wait a minute, this guy's been to this planet before? That doesn't.
Now, how did you feel about how he looked?
I thought he looked exactly like the dude that plays the Flash. He looks identical to the dude who plays the Flash, right? What's the dude's name? Ezra or whatever the heck his name is? The dude who plays the Flash currently for Justice League. He looks exactly like that guy.
So you think he's the Sith Lord then?
And he is the Sith Lord. Well, here's what they've done is they've set it up, and they gave him a couple of lines. Right when they're like exchanging the flask or something, and then when they're marching up along the side of the mountain before they get into the forest, there's a couple of lines that he says that are kind of things that make you question. You're like, wait, but it sounds like this guy knows more than he's leading on, but the other character hasn't noticed yet. So it's not until she lets him go, and then she's like, wait a minute, and then she ties him up. And the thing was that I'm sitting with my lady watching this, and as soon as they're walking along the trail, before they even get into the forest, before he gets like hogtied like a child, in, you know, like a Goonies movie or something, he the random little thing he said along the cliff, my lady goes, you know what, this guy's the Sith, right? And he's just totally pretending like that's why he's here, right? Because I was so busy kind of like paying attention to some other things to, you know, pick on for the show, that I wasn't watching like standard, you know, listening to.
You're being too analytical, but also because the story is so drag out boring that you're like, I'm just like, that's the thing. The story's not good enough for you to not look at it critically. It's that bad that you can't even like. They keep breaking your immersion. Everything's awkward the whole time. So there's this scene that drove me crazy where she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to kill this next Jedi. I'm gonna kill Chewbacca Jedi." And so she's like, "I gotta kill Chewbacca Jedi.
Must kill."
And then they're going into the forest, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Yeah, no, actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go turn myself into the Jedi, and they'll protect me," which came out of left field because I'm like, okay, so what's your motivation for killing all these Jedi then? You flip your emotion, and I get it. She's a woman, so I mean, women can flip their emotions that quickly.
She's claiming that it's because she didn't know that May was alive, or didn't know that Osha was alive, and because now she thought Osha had died. So because Osha is alive, what she's saying in this moment is that because Osha is alive, that's now.
But that aha moment should have either happened sooner or way later, because the thing is like, wouldn't you, if you are led to believe that the Jedi have wiped out my entire, lesbian witch,
right? It would seem
tribe,
seem as though maybe at least one of them was involved in that huge explosion.
Yeah. So then you have this turmoil, and you're like, but my sister's alive. So I would think more that you would be like, I want to reach out to my sister and bring her to the dark side because the Jedi are the bad guys. So that would be the move, not like I'm going to join the Jedi. Like, wait, aren't you operating under the idea that potentially the Jedi are the ones that murdered your entire family? And that's the thing I don't like about this. It's like, it's a very poorly told mystery with a lot of nuance, and you never know quite where you sit, but it's not done in a way like, All Knives Out, where you're like, what's going to happen next? You're like, I don't even care what happens next. I'm only watching this so I can have something to talk about on my podcast, because I'm trying to get way more people to watch this thing so I can sell comic books and promote my friends that make stuff, Those are my two motivations for this, guys, is selling my comic books and promoting other people. That's it. You heard it here first. I'm very motivated by those two factors. So we're talking about this because everyone's talking about it, and it's something that you guys are interested in. And I think we have really good takes on it. But I would not, like, episode 3, I was like, I'm done. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like,
well, I feel like now I already know what it is.
I don't even care.
I know what's going on.
I just want to touch my eyeballs and scratch them I would rather do that than watch this thing. And I hate the idea of touching my eyeballs, but I think I would rather, like, what up, Tim's Talk? Tim's Talk in the house. You guys need to check out his channel, man.
I was letting you chap at Tim's Talk. He says, yo, so talking crew. What up, bud?
Yeah. But here's my thing. So I like that idea of the guy. What's his name? Is it Ezra? Is that Ezra?
No. That's just the name I gave. I don't even know what the name of the character is. I don't even remember. That's how unremarkable most of this show is. I have no idea who half of the characters' names are.
That would be the most interesting thing thus far in this entire series. But when I saw here's the thing that I hate about when they write the Sith too, is like, they're so powerful. It's like, you have all these, you got a Jedi master, you got a bunch of Jedi Knights, and he's just like, I am the end boss in a World of Warcraft 40-man raid. And it's this little skinny, like, waif of a person. And I get, like, the Force and everything. But I kind of was disappointed because I was like, you just look like a wafy dude with a motorcycle helmet. And it's no longer that intimidating presence like Darth Maul. You were like, whoa!
It's like, I can't tell if it's like a cross between like Judge Dredd and Batfleck. It's like Judge Batfleck.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was less impressive than what was that robotic duck from Darkwing Duck? I think he's less impressive than Gizmo. Gizmo Duck, less intimidating than Gizmo Duck.
Blabbering blatherskites.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like I wasn't seeing it.
Gizmo
I think maybe
Duck.
It was the costume. Like, you have this motorcycle helmet, and then you have this skinny little waif neck that you could easily choke out in a guillotine choke, and this little waif body. And I get it. It's like,
choke him out. Look at this guy. You could easily choke him out.
Yeah, I think that if they wanted to make it much more impressive, then we should have seen a little bit more of a fight scene that ended on a cliffhanger. I get, like, the whole... I don't know, man. I just saw that, and I was like... going back to all the different Star Wars enemies that you would see, even, like, the frail old man... you'd be like, what? This guy can't do anything. And then all of a sudden he's just like, force lightning at everyone. So you see the power. I wasn't quite, I don't know. I guess I wasn't feeling, it felt cheesy to me. I could be so critical and so like eye roll over all of this that I'm just like I'm just nitpicking now. That would be a fair criticism.
I mean,
you
are, but it's extremely entertaining, and that's why we're all here. So
I did think that the shark mouth on the helmet was kind of interesting.
Coral, hold on. Coral, is that the name of the sidekick that is with
the guy that gave her the poison? The guy that gave May the poison. I think. Yeah, I think that's the character's name.
That's got to be who it is. Yeah.
I mean, it was like Darth Forgettable.
Darth, it's a pretty good one.
That's a good one. That is
simply hilarious.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah. Like Tim's Talk, he's like, yeah, I'm only converting it for content.
I'm only covering it for the content, and honestly, like, I don't mind watching it for the content. I would mind if I was like watching it just kind of like, oh hey, let's enjoy this, and I'd be like, I don't know if I want to continue watching this. Oh, the
shark
name.
Teeth helmet and name of Coral. Yeah, it works, right? I don't know. But, that brings up an interesting point. So,
what happened, Coral? What happened, Coral?
What happened, Coral? Coral. All right. So far, Wednesday, good news. Good news, Savage. Wednesday is in the lead for our weekly show. So your Friday night's still safe for plenty of beer drinking and looking at classic cars and
and
East Iowa.
sharpening axes. Yeah, I got the nice display back here. Hope y'all dig it, along with the shiny Emmy, of course.
But please go ahead and vote in that poll. So me and Savage had an idea. So Acolyte is so bad. It's so terrible. What is the top 5 worst Star Wars IPs that are still better than Acolyte?
They're terrible. So like things that are in the Star Wars universe that I'm sure Amoeba is immediately going to jump on one of them that's on the list. But what parts of the Star Wars universe have just been absolutely atrocious that are still better than Acolyte? What do we got?
Play the top 5. Play the top 5.
Play.
Are you guys ready? So, top 5 worst Star Wars IPs that are still better than the Acolyte. And oh, these are good. These are really good. So, at 5, we have Star Wars The Holiday Special, which has a better rating on Rotten Tomatoes than Acolyte does. Still. All right. Did you ever watch this? Did you ever watch this one?
I did give it a full viewing once. I had it.
Oh my gosh!
I don't remember if I had it on VHS or if it was on a special features on a DVD that I watched. But I did sit and watch the whole thing, and it was, I mean, it's painful. It's very it is awkward.
The family in the kitchen, the family of Chewbacca's.
So weird. It's so awkward to watch, and I mean, you can't even explain how bad it is. Like, you have to watch it. Even if you just showed somebody a clip, they'd be like, "That's pretty." I mean, that's ridiculous. That's not what the whole thing's like, is it?
It's so bad, dude. It's bad, but in a way that everyone has to experience at least one time in their life. You really do have to experience at least one time in your life. Oh my gosh! I think it's on Amazon. You can rent it. It's just like, I'm crying laughing thinking about the family. There's a family that has a home, and the home looks very much like a home from the 80s that I grew up in, with like wood paneling and stuff.
Like a mid-century modern home.
And you have no idea what's going on, but they're playing Christmas music in the background, and the little baby Chewbacca's like, and the mom's like, it's just like, oh.
The grandpa is a favorite. Grandpa is always a favorite.
I mean, that's kind of how my great-grandpa was around the holidays. He just sat in his chair and also, but he wasn't hairy like that. At number 4, Caravan of Courage, the Ewok Adventure.
Oh, Caravan of Courage.
Do you remember this one? Oh!
Yeah. That it was, dude, I was a huge fan. Like, I was, because, we were young when the Star Wars movies were out. I was hard into the other stuff. I had all of the books on tape, the droid books on tape, the Ewok books on tape, and then they came out with these, and so the family was like, yeah, so he's gonna watch these. Some of them are one of them, I think, the Caravan of Courage is frighteningly like there's, I think it's like a giant spider that's in a cave. I think it was like super terrifying to me as a child, but nonetheless, I watched it dozens of times.
Salty Papa, who is partly Yoda, like one of the Yoda race.
Horrible
is. I think he meant IPs, but we're gonna go run with the first one. Look at this, Drew Struzan they invested in key art.
Dude, the
from
artwork,
Drew Struzan, man,
so cool.
And if you don't know who Drew Struzan is, it's like, to get one of his posters is a lot. It's like 6 figures, just for one poster. And they were like, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and pay for a Drew Struzan poster for our really bad and really cheesy Ewok adventure for children.
And this is Lucasfilm. I mean, this was in the prime. It was like, I think it was the early 80s. It was like 82 or 83 or something like that. Yeah. It's, I mean, they're putting money into it. They have the young girl who, it's like definitely is along with the Ewok, and then the young teenage boy who's like up and coming. Like, it's pretty It was pretty great
Yeah.
for me as a child. I'm sure I could watch it now and wouldn't be able to stand it, but
I will
you have to
say,
see this. Amoeba, you have to see this.
Amoeba, I will say, it's better than the Acolyte. It's better than the Acolyte. Oh, when we were kids, me and my sister got the Ewok Adventure board game, and I'm going to say, that board game was a lot of fun, people. That board game was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, so the next one we got is Ewoks: The Battle for Endor. So this came before the Caravan of Courage. So this was a big one too, and it's the same cast of the girl and the boy, except there's like this whole big battle of the Ewoks versus the monsters, and the kids are caught in between.
And there's more there's wizardry and stuff. I think. Yeah, it's a little more. It was kind of like it was like if Lord of the Rings kind of, or like a director who really liked Lord of the Rings, like got a hold of Star Wars, and he was like, well, I mean, I'm gonna add like some, we already have space wizards, kind of, right? So why don't we just I'm gonna add some other stuff, and it was like very,
space wizards. That's just Jedis, dude. That's just Jedis, okay? And Jedix, Jedis and Jedix, but the Jedix have the.
It's just Jedi.
The peepee heads. All right, at number 2. Oh no, that's the number 1. Don't look. I skipped ahead. Number 2, Star Wars droids.
Droids. The
Star Wars droids. Damn it, I was too quick on the wheel. Star Wars droids. This was a really bad cartoon. Really bad. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. It was unwatchable bad. Even when you were a kid, it was unwatchable bad.
And they had the potential to be very good, like the episodes of Data and Geordi LaForge on Star Trek The Next Generation. Like, that's kind of who these characters were. And it had the chance to be like really great like that, but it was just it was just bad. It was just leftover animators from other animated series, or the guys that got canned from other animated series, and then Lucasfilm just watching over their shoulder the whole time. And it was pretty bad, but it's out there. I think it's still on. I think they may have added it to Disney Plus. I don't know if they took it off.
I think it's on Disney Plus. I think it is on Disney Plus, and it does not deserve any of your attention. Except if you want Star Wars and you can't do, it's better than Acolyte. Remember, it is better than Acolyte.
Maybe
it's bad, but it's not as bad as Acolyte.
All right,
and number 1 you already saw because I scrolled too quickly. Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace,
coming in at number 1.
This was the one that ruined everything. They brought you midichlorians. What the hell is a midichlorian?
What?
Nobody knew, and then they had to do some exposition to explain this and retcon.
They're like, no, it's not like an autoimmune disease or anything like that. That's not. It's like it's what it sounds like. I don't know. I don't want too many midichlorians. Yeah. Oh,
and this poor kid, he was not a good actor. He was not meant for Hollywood. He did his best, as anyone in his position would have, but being it's just. The only cool thing about this film is Darth Maul, and that's probably the only thing that makes this better than the Acolyte, is that Darth Maul was so cool, and that fight scene of him with this double-bladed lightsaber taking on Qui-Gon.
Oh yeah, so good. I was just looking at something to kind of give nod to artists and whatnot as we do. Some of the set builders. There was a guy who built the whole grandstand that happens during the pod race. He built like a physical set, and the whole grandstand was maybe like 5.5 feet tall. And what he had done is he colored and then cut off the tips of thousands upon thousands.
Don't cut off the tip.
What
is he? Was he Jewish?
Yeah, what a schmuck. But Q-tips. So he dyed multiple different colors. Some are red, blue, yellow, green, whatever. And then he put those in the stands, and that's like for the sweeping overhead shots of the stands. And they filled in, stuff with CGI for the pods racing by. But it's literally the tops of Q-tips that are colored, just all lined up and stuck on toothpicks, just stuck in this giant set. It was a great old set photo of the guy who made it, kind of like leaning over the top of it, and him being like, yeah, I hand colored and
Yeah.
clipped and
And it's that
positioned.
kind of work and that kind of effort that makes the worst movie in all of Star Wars still better
Still better
than Star Wars Acolyte.
than Acolyte.
Still. And so that has been our top 5 worst Star Wars IPs that are still better than the Acolyte.
What in the world?
We don't know what we're doing.
I think Max Headroom just hacked us, and we were like, top 5, top 5.
Oh, dude, you know, I wanted to show the chat something. I think everyone needs to see, because it is
great.
fantastic and amazing and wonderful and fantastic and amazing and wonderful.
All these things. That's a lot of things.
And honestly, I want you guys to notice who made this video, and then make sure to go over to that channel and give them a follow and a lot of like and a lot of love, because they're doing some amazing comedic work it's just great. You guys got to see this.
Great.
You guys have to see this. Can you guys hear everything?
Nope.
Someone
got
you
nope.
know, but I'm
there we
not
go.
going to tell you.
Let's redo it. Why are you starting off
Someone you
muted?
know,
Oh my
but
gosh.
this is someone you know, but I'm not going to tell you who.
Less yapping and more playing. Oh, is it him? Is it that dude? The one wearing the bedpan?
No, he's not there yet.
You can turn it up a little.
Jeez, who's this guy?
Do you not recognize him?
Don't think so.
I'm just gonna restart it again. Sorry guys, I do not know why it's doing this to
someone
me.
you know, but
Maybe
I'm
someone
not
can
gonna
help me.
tell you who.
Less yapping and more playing.
This is actually something
hate
I've never
YouTube,
seen
man.
cry. This is someone you know, but I'm not going to tell you who.
Less yapping and more playing. Oh, is it him? Is it that dude? The one wearing the bedpan?
No, he's not there yet.
The bedpan.
Jeez, who's this guy?
Do you not recognize him?
Don't think so. He's so obviously evil. I don't hang around with evil people. Well, Peruni's. He's really good. Evil, but good. I'd want him on my team in a fight.
Yeah, I got to say, I actually fought him a few days after this, and he was not this athletic. Honestly, it was like fighting a pensioner with a hip injury.
Why did you fight him?
Oh, we had some beef. Well, more him. Roast beef.
Ugh, go on, I give up. Who is he?
Do you remember little Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah.
Well, that's him.
Black leather and a cape. Was this a phase?
Not really. He always was a mopey little emo. This is actually something I've never seen.
Is this a phase? You could say that?
You could say that. I want to know why Liam Neeson sounds like Sean Connery. Why does everyone always go to Sean Connery?
They dubbed over both of those. It's so.
So yeah, there's this. It's that guy. What's the channel? If you saw, we should. Oh man, if the Baron can find that, I'll send a. You know what? I'll send it out to the Baron, so the Baron could give you guys a link to that. You guys just have to see this channel, because the channel is so hilarious, man. It is so hilarious, and the guy does a lot of like. He's using a lot of AI, and he's just a lot of reactions of like Qui-Jin and Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi reacting to, like, there's a one where they're reacting to the Acolyte, like episode 1. It's just like, dude, it's like, how are people randos using AI on the internet making stuff that's way more entertaining than the entirety of Disney?
Right? Occasionally you come across someone like the guy that was doing all the Gary Busey videos.
Yeah.
Those are hysterical. He's like, oh, how come you don't put peanut butter between your toes? And then the doctor tells you that you know, like, if there isn't enough jam, then it's not Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
but I do appreciate Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Being like, who is the guy in the leather with the red lightsaber?
Oh, is this a phase? Is it a phase?
He's on the dark side.
Unfazed, actually.
See, I can't do the Sean Connery as well anymore because I don't smoke anymore. Thanks, wife, for not letting me smoke. And I say letting because I'm like, I want to make out with my wife, and there's no way we're making out if I smoke.
You've got a pipe, don't you? I mean,
I do, but you know, when you smoke, you inhale it, and then your voice sounds all gravelly and sexy, and you're like, I talk like this because I smoke like a pack a day, and then you can do the. I'm Sean Connery. I'm the sexiest old man alive. But then, you know, you can't smoke, so it doesn't sound as good, and it's not as funny, and I don't like it. I want to smoke again. We got over 116 people watching right now, and if you are on X, thanks for being on X, but maybe think about it. Maybe think about clicking the link on my X profile and watching on YouTube so we can get the like and the subscribe, because that really does help us out.
And subscribe.
Yeah. Because Elon doesn't quite get it yet, so we're still trying to make it happen on the YouTubes. Because we're actually working towards monetization so that we can continue to promote people like the channel that we just watched, like Tim's Talk, Frost Comics, Flip City Magazine, all those people we like to promote as many people as we can.
All the people in the chat become part of the chat. Get in the chat, get involved. We love to get the chat involved and see what you guys have to say. That's why we're here, because without you, who fucking cares, right?
But we did promise two Star Wars top fives.
Two top fives. Should we hit them with another one?
I think we should.
Oh yeah!
All right, so this is our top. We wanted to end our little Star Wars segment on a positive note, because, I mean, good Lord, Acolyte's bad, and we just went through a bunch of bad Star Wars IPs that are still better than Acolyte, but still not that good. So we wanted to end on a positive note, and this kind of is an ongoing theme on the Salty and Savage show, where it's like, instead of just complaining about everything, we're gonna all offer up our own creative ideas. So think of it as like constructive criticism, but also, you know, adding to the conversation of what could you do. And since Hollywood loves to rehash, copy, redo, we thought, hey, you guys like to do that. It's literally all you're doing. Not literally. It's figuratively, but it's kind of what you're always doing now. You're like, oh, Thundercats, let's do that. Oh, nostalgia, let's do that. Oh, let's remake this movie again and again and again. So what if you took some cool movies from the past and decided to turn them into and adapt them for a Star Wars IP, as a Star Wars IP?
Like an example would be, like, imagine the Goonies, but it's a Padawan story, and you know, it follows them on a trip, and they find, which is basically what a number of episodes of the Clone Wars did. I'm sure there's an episode that you could equate directly to a Goonies episode, maybe when the kids are going to get their lightsabers. I don't know if that was Rebels or Clone Wars, where the kids were going to get their kyber crystals for the lightsabers in the caves. The younglings or whatever. So it was a very Goonies kind of thing. You know, they had to work with each other, and the one kid who was trying to, you know, be better than the others ended up, you know, being kind of a dick and getting, like, he got stuck inside or something, and he was like, oh, he's gonna be there for eternity. Wah wah. Now, and that's why you always leave a note.
So we thought, hey, how about some movies where you seriously just take the movie and same movie,
adapt it,
no gender swapping, and just be like, yo, what would it be like if this was set in a Star Wars world? How good would it be? So, number five,
we're coming up hot with a clip.
Now, how cool would Yojimbo be as a Star Wars movie? I mean, everyone's gonna love that movie. They're gonna be like, dude, we're watching that movie.
It almost, I mean, and a lot of these movies, a lot of these things, you know, the stories would naturally fit in the Star Wars universe because the way they've already adapted a number of the characters.
Hidden Fortress was one. I mean, Hidden Fortress literally was Star Wars: A New Hope. and that was in a Akira Kurosawa film.
So-
You should
so
I mean, this is a natural. You have a Jedi. He's got a white saber. He's no longer blue or green. He's not going to be red. He's like somewhere in the middle, a Ronin, and he's dropped down into a town, right? And what were you saying about the two factions? You had a really interesting take on the two factions.
Did I? Oh,
The
yeah.
Hutts?
So it's like it could possibly be, if you're gonna do it, maybe it's like one is a division of the Hutts, some of the cousins, because they're all gangsters, they're all thugs of some sort, money launderers, etc. And then maybe the other is like Hondo and the pirates or something, and they're kind of the two factions that are like on this planet or in this small town. Maybe it's on a small planet and it's like a jump off point for where the pirates do their stuff and also the Hutts do their stuff. Who knows? Because you could do anything for Star Wars.
I think it would be great as just like a port, right? Like I remember there was like one port, like when you played Knights of the Old Republic 2, there was a port called Nar Shaddaa, and there was a lot going on in Nar Shaddaa. You could actually just have Nar Shaddaa and it could be an Old Kingdom story too, where you have a Jedi that's like. And if you guys have ever seen Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis, basically what it is there's a guy who's like really good at killing people. He's like a soldier for hire. He doesn't really have an allegiance to anyone, and he kind of falls into this like town in the middle of nowhere. And there's these two gang factions that are fighting over control of the town and the resource that is exporting the town. And then he decides they're trying to hire him. And he decides that he's going to kill everyone and free the town from these a-holes that are taking over the town, which is a great Star Wars idea. So Jedi, Nar Shaddaa, that's your movie.
Yojimbo.
Yojimbo.
Yeah. Do it. I mean, it just makes total sense. So it comes in at number 5. It could be number 1. I mean, it's a fantastic.
Yeah. All of these honestly could be number 1. Well, maybe are not our number 4, but we wanted to start you guys off with something that was just like on the nose. And then number 4, number 4 is fun. What's number 4?
Number 4 is a little off the nose.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears.
It's so good. Oh my god!
There was a lot of Ewok stuff in our top 5 worst best, right? There was a lot of Ewok stuff. So imagine if you just took, and you could do this as an episodic, like as a television show, essentially, a series, and it's Star Wars Ewoks. And you have a little girl or a little boy in there running around with the Ewoks, and they're trying to run away from stormtroopers.
He's the friend, and then the town or the empire that's local is like always having issues with them or whatever, but they always manage to foil them and their plans to try to destroy the Jedis when they come to visit or whatever it is, and it's all wrapped up in a cutesy bow, but at the same time,
you could animate it. You could be live action. Like there's a lot you could do, and it's for the children.
It's for the children.
The children.
For the children.
And again, better than anything that they're doing right now. Take notes, Kathleen Kennedy. I know you won't, because we don't look like you want us to look. And the Force is a feminist.
But did you tell them it's for the children?
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids, dog. Tell them it's for the children. So Gummy Bears comes in at number 4 of our top 5.
You guys all agree. Frost Comics is in the chat. He should be in the chat right now being like, my kids will love it, and they will.
Ooh, I'm going to give a quick shout out. Cannonball Run.
Oh, man.
I mean,
that's a good one.
It's a Kessel Run, kind of thing, but you do it a little. I do like the heavy comedic aspect and bringing in a bunch of like super characters, just like really just wild characters.
I like it. I like that idea a lot.
I do like that. All right, so that was number 4. Number 3.
Number 4. Now number 3.
Number 3.
You're gonna love it. You guys are gonna love this one.
This could be interesting.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park.
This one's the wild card, and jury's still out on this one. Savage has to sell this one to you guys, because I was very much like, I think Cannonball Run's a better one than this one, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, Cannonball Run is actually a brilliant idea, but I thought it'd be a fascinating idea because there are so many, they hint on so many different creatures and crazy animals and dangerous things that are all throughout the Star Wars universe in so many different episodes and films that what if we, kind of spun that on its head? And what if some crazy motherfucker was like, look, I built this planet and it's like a giant amusement park, and we got all these crazy animals that you've seen in all the different movies and episodes on Disney Plus over the years, and we got them all in this one park. Oh, and by the way, we're genetically engineering new ones, and we're bringing back like above ground sarlaccs, and we're bringing back like all sorts of weird shit. And and you can either go run with it and make it like really heavy, or you can bring the kids into it and make it one of those kind of like a Jurassic Park kind of a crossover tween, like where the kids can enjoy it but also adults can enjoy it too, because it's got both sides of humor. But I don't know, I just thought it would be pretty fascinating with the number of wild animals, just absolutely crazy animals and crazy races and various things. And some of these things, maybe they discover that one of these things is actually like a race of sentient, whatever, that is trying to communicate with them the whole time and is super smarter than them, but they just haven't been able to do it. And then they completely
think it could work. It's one of those things where it's like he does do a good pitch, right? I mean, Savage,
maybe
at first, the more I hear about it, I'm like,
maybe not.
And again, but here's the thing, this is still better after Mandalorian. It's better than anything that's been made after Mandalorian. I just think that,
it's almost like
with everything they're making, you're like, why not? Just do that then, and just do that, and it'll be great.
There could have almost been an episode of Boba Fett that was just like him, where he went to a planet and then he told them about how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, and they're like, oh well, we breed all sorts of animals here. We've got a Sarlacc and blah, blah, and but it could be its own thing, because you are also able to introduce more of these crazy doctors and space wizards and various other things that are necessary to create to keep a facility like this in line. And the terraforming and things they can do with the planets in the Star Wars universe, like you could do some crazy stuff where maybe everything's contained.
Look, the Baron has already said you sold it. You sold it.
I'm sorry.
We're sold.
I'm sorry.
Amoeba's like, that is fascinating. As a biologist, totally like it. And Amoeba would know. She's going to college for biology.
What?
Or as a biologist. You're a biologist? I don't know.
Smart.
She'll tell us. Simply Green with a great idea. I like this idea, bro. Lock, stock, and two smoking barrels. Snatch.
Yeah,
Just give a Guy Ritchie a shot. I agree. Because Snatch is a great one, but but both are like kind of caperish, and I always like caper. Yeah. A good caper film works in Star Wars, especially with like a Han Solo character. Totally works, bro. Totally
great
works.
cape. Hey, what are you? It's yes or no. Are you into doing a job with me tonight? We're going across space and time to do a job. Are you in or are you out?
That's pretty good, man. I think that's pretty good.
That's my Guy Ritchie movie character impression.
Are you going to do a job or are you not going to do a job?
Will it be a big job?
Of course it's going to be a big job. Not big for you, but big enough.
Like a big job?
Big enough to make our wallets fat and make you think about not having to do another job ever.
Because you know what my in-laws call a big job?
What do your in-laws call a big job?
A poop.
Pooping.
A poop.
A deuce.
Pooping.
A double.
And it's a big job when you're really doing a big poop. Like a poop.
So
anyway.
Number 2. We're dropping down.
Number 2.
Number 2 on the list of the top
It's good. This is a good one.
And I think this is natural. I think everyone totally gets this.
Wow. Dude, can you imagine X-Wing fighters? The guy's riding on his speeder, the X-Wing fighters taking off. You got the sweet, sweet 80s music, because we want to make America 80s again on this show, Salty and Savage. You know that would be a awesome Star Wars film. X-Wing, Top Gun, X-Wing. So
Top Gun
good.
X-Wing. Now, a bunch of people will probably comment about that they did have plans to make a very Top Gun-esque fighter pilot based show or film. I don't remember what it was supposed to be with. I think Patty Jenkins was supposed to be at the helm, which I think was an atrocious idea in the first place, but she sold it because
Who's Patty Jenkins? Who's Patty Jenkins?
For
those that don't know.
Isn't she the person who directed the Wonder Woman films? I believe.
Yeah,
I think
and
okay.
Wonder Woman, the first one was it was okay. It was okay.
I mean, it was watchable, and the storyline was atrocious. The second one was like looked super cool, but was a terrible movie. It was just terrible.
I like the '80s artwork for the posters and stuff.
But apparently,
yeah, that was. And she was gonna. Oh, I'm gonna do the X-wing film because my daddy was a fighter pilot.
It was a fighter pilot or something like that, and she totally sold it to Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, we're going to give her all this money and she's going to develop and do this. And that was a few years ago, and it's been nothing but crickets since. I think that they realized that they should not be putting. I mean, they were already going heavy into the Star Wars paint. I think they realized that they're like, maybe we announced way too many things way too early because. I'm thinking maybe this project is going to be pushed way back, and hopefully Patty Jenkins doesn't even do it. Hopefully somebody else. Hopefully a fighter pilot turned director, or anybody. Even Tom Cruise would be better at directing. That film.
Uncapped Turtle telling us something about himself. I think revealing a little bit more about yourself than anything else, because I'm sorry that you are uncomfortable with men enjoying sports volleyball with their shirts off, listening to Kenny Loggins. I'm sorry that made you uncomfortable, but Top Gun is an awesome American movie, and if you disagree, you can move to Russia.
He does not want to take a ride into the danger zone.
No, but I will go into the danger zone.
Uncapped is not interested. Uncapped. Hey, Uncapped, how great does that top 5 animation look? This guy.
Every time I have Taco Bell, an hour later, the bathroom becomes the danger zone.
Whoa, hey.
Whoa, hey. And then I do a big job. Wait, what?
Oh, you gotta do a big job.
Gotta do a big job.
Who's a big boy that's gonna do a big job?
I'm gonna do a big job. Yeah, that's a poop. Anyway. So what is number 1? What's number 1, guys?
I mean, if
number 1's good, just play it. Just play it.
All right, sorry. I'm just. All right. Hopefully Ennio Morricone, I think that's who composed that.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, there's so many ways you could take this. There's so many different directions.
First off, this is brilliant. Any of these Clint Eastwood films from this era you could do, but
yeah, the Sergio Leone. You could take the Sergio Leone catalog and be like, we're just gonna make Star Wars movies inspired by each of these Sergio Leone films. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, probably one of the tops. The thing that you could do with that is so great. Like, you could actually retell in a better way, in a much greater way, and just ignore the movie Solo altogether. And you could tell the story of Han Solo, because Chewbacca could be the ugly, and that's how they end up becoming friends, because they start off as enemies, and or the whole... Dude, I mean, come on. It's just such a good idea.
There's so much potential.
Absolutely the best. That would be the best way to just be like, okay, we're restarting everything. Everything's been terrible for the last 5 years.
How great would Cad Bane be in this film?
Oh,
Cad Bane, dude. What a great
as the bad.
Probably the bad, right? As the bad.
Like, Howard Van Cleef's character.
Dude, so like he's it's almost like they modeled Cad Bane after that character. He would be unbelievably perfect. You would have to change nothing about him. His voice is unreal as well. I freaking love it.
Yeah, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Man, that Ennio Morricone's music just makes me
so good.
I honestly, if I was an executive at Disney, I would contemplate and really seriously think about trying to, license a lot of his catalog, a lot of his music, and taking it and just ever so slightly giving it a little bit of Star Wars John Williams love, and just having that as the soundtrack for my film, and be like, that we did it. Why? Why not?
A little bit of space banjo.
Why not? And people will be like, oh, you couldn't come up with anything original. Yeah, because you know what? Why come up with something original when that exists and is wonderful and beautiful and would work with lightsabers and blasters?
It would be so great. It'd be so great.
Although I think the Good, the Bad, the Ugly Star Wars version would be best without any Jedi. No Jedi.
It would be like a Jedi-less film. That's actually an even hotter take. I think that's an even hotter take. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as a Star Wars film with no Jedi. A Jedi-less Star Wars film. I love it. What does the chat have to say about that?
Yeah.
What do y'all got to say?
Salty Papa says, preach it to the choir, or speak it to the choir. That's what we all do here at the Salty Savage Show. And if you don't like it, we definitely invite you to hate watch. We definitely invite you to hate watch.
Hey, we'd love to have a hate watch here. That's part of why we're here, because there ain't no way everybody's gonna like us. Not gonna happen.
Anyone's gonna like
Not gonna happen. But
all right, so we are past the hour and a half mark, dude. We are past the hour and a half mark.
What does that mean? Does that?
So wait, well, real quick, how does everyone feel about our top fives? You guys love it. I know you guys love it. You know that should happen. I know you know all 5 of those movies. Yes, Uncapped Turtle can't wait for the Top Gun version of Star Wars. He wants that for himself. He wants to keep it to himself in a secret, dark, dry place in his heart. We know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. That is our top 5. Our 2 top 5s for you. But we are going to take a little bit of a break. Should we do the Silence Too Good trailer or the O.J. Simpson music video?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I love. I'm okay with silence.
All right, the first person to say what they want in the chat, that's what we're playing.
Silence
Too Good trailer
or O.J.
O.J. Simpson
Star Wars Maverick
music video.
Yep. Okay.
Uncapped. Star Wars Maverick. Yeah.
Uncapped. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wins.
That would be good. That
exactly.
Would be good.
That's basically what we were
doing.
doing.
Really good. I like that.
We're waiting.
No takers.
Chat. Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards.
That's actually we were just talking about that last week. So
silence it is.
Silence.
There's 2. All right.
Are they? Okay. So silence.
Yep.
Here it is. In 3, 2. Live on Indiegogo. Go to this link right now. I'm sure the Baron is going to pop it in the chat. The Baron, drop it in the chat. Get this. My copy issue 0 is way up here. But did I lose my guy? Oh, there's my guy. My copy issue 0 is way up here. But if y'all don't have your issue ordered already, go to this link. And I'm sure the Baron's going to drop it in the chat. Get yourself some salty silence do good.
Yeah, we'll drop that. Well, I think it's actually in the description. It's always in the description. You just copy and paste it. We haven't gotten We're waiting to get monetized before we can do all that stuff. But yeah, you could go to Indiegogo and just look it up. But we'll put definitely put the link in the chat. Again, if you're on X, we got like 250 people watching on X right now, and we are so stoked on that. But also, if you can, maybe check out the YouTube channel and give us a like and subscribe when you have the opportunity. But we do appreciate everyone watching the show right now. It's kind of blowing up on X. X is where it's at because X doesn't control our speech as much as YouTube does. We don't have to play the language game. Yeah. We don't have to be politically correct because we're never going to be politically correct on this show. We actually welcome all opinions to be expressed. Well, most of all opinions. There's certain ones where we're like, no, we might need to put you in a wood chipper. But for the most part, you know, when in reason, we do. But I am very conservative, and Savage is just walks to the beat of his own drum and doesn't like the political correctness like me.
Yeah, I kind of like to, you know, just like, I mean, you know, I'm a decent guy, but
I think you're a great guy.
I just don't.
What are you talking about?
I just don't take shit.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, is that a frosty mug of deliciousness? Oh man.
So we're deep into the second hour, and I thought I'd bust out the beer. I have no idea what beer this is. Wife, could you please tell me what beer I'm drinking? It's delicious. Let me see if I can tell. Let me see if I can guess.
I would hope. I mean, think about what's in your fridge.
Well, there's two types of beers in my fridge, and I think that I'm drinking Kirin Ichiban.
Ooh, Kirin Ichiban. Big fan.
Yeah.
Whenever I go get sushi, Kirin is the beer of choice.
Yeah, see, and my parents are watching right now on the television at home. My mom loves hearing my voice, and she's the only one that does. But that's okay. I don't have the radio voice like Savage does, but I'll try, guys. I'll try. I wish I still smoked. I'm trying to convince my wife to let me smoke cigarettes because my voice will get much deeper and be... You know, I smoke cigarettes and I sound like this, but, you know, she doesn't want me to die, so.
Well, that's good. That is cute, though. That is really great that they're...
I love my mom and my dad. Anyway, and thank you for the support.
Well, yeah, appreciate the support, of course, and everybody, you know, and all the people who aren't our moms and dads watching.
Yeah. No, seriously, we do really appreciate it. So what are we going to talk about now? Chat, what do you guys want us to talk about? We went through the top fives. We talked about Acolyte and how it was a giant train wreck ball of fire in space.
And they probably have already revealed who the bad guy is. Either that or they're doing a very good job at masking it. But I suspect that we all just know who it is now. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I could totally be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. And that would probably be better because then the show would be better, but I don't think it is.
No.
Star Wars
says I am drinking Kirin Ichiban because we have Peroni, Grolsch, and Ichiban in the refrigerator, and I was able to decipher, and it's so good. I love me some Kirin Ichiban.
Those are pretty good. You said Peroni. When it comes to Italian beers, I'm a Moretti guy. I go Moretti over Peroni. All the time.
Moretti
check it out.
Is good, bro.
Moretti is a great Italian beer. When I go to Italy, if that ever happens, hopefully that's like my cherished locale to go visit. I've never been across the pond, so if I get to go there, hopefully eventually I will. Hope to drink some Moretti or something that I've never even heard of before from some ridiculous, beautiful seaside village restaurant.
Apparently, the wife went to the grocery store this morning and got me Sapporo too.
Oh, Sapporo! That's also good. It's not my top choice, but I will drink the shit out of some Sapporo.
I'm telling you, get yourself a traditional wife that does the grocery shopping for you, so I never have to step foot in the grocery store again because I don't want to talk to people at the grocery store. And I live in a small town now, and everyone's like, "How are you doing today?" I'm like, "I'm not even awake yet. Stop talking."
I'm not even awake yet. I do have to now that I've moved Midwest. So I got it. My grocery game is completely different because the grocery store is very much like in LA. Like, don't talk to people, whatever. Girls who are clearly dressed up like to go to the grocery store, and I'm.
They're husband shopping.
Don't look at the thirst trap. Don't look at the thirst trap. This ridiculous.
Now, are they husband shopping or are they retirement plan shopping?
It doesn't even matter. They're fucking idiots. But nonetheless.
We have some dumb takes in the chat right now from Uncapped Turtle. Asahi is the driest of the Japanese beers, and it also is delicious, but it's not as good as Kirin.
I think
Kirin is better than Sapporo, and Sapporo is better than Asahi. You're all mixed up there, but you're a turtle, so you don't know what you're talking about. But Uncapped did send us. He did send us some stuff to talk about, to show, and to look at.
But you're a turtle.
So,
turtle.
So we have a meme here. The power of one, the power of two, the power of Ollie's good Chiefs.
Ollie's good Chiefs. Oh, hey, I'm in the Midwest. I know what an Ollie's is now.
Now, for those of you that are still in California or on the East Coast,
5 weeks ago, I would not have understood this joke. I would have been like, "What? I don't."
Yeah,
get it.
like 2-3 years ago, I would have been like, what I don't even understand what you're talking about. Because for me, the only cheap store that you have would be Pick and Save. So actually, and I would say this could work. Oh, and you could redo it with Pick and Save, the power of Pick and Save. Because that would too, I mean, at least growing up, Pick and Save was like where all the, all the toys that were on the island of rejected toys in the reindeer, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Right.
That was Pick and Save. Pick and Save was the island of left behind toys. And that's where these toys are going to go.
You could make it a Farm King or something. Like, I don't know.
Is a Bucky's too highbrow for this?
It's Farm and Home. Maybe it's Farm and Home. No.
Bucky's might be too highbrow for that. That is a pretty good one.
I do favor dry beers.
Oh my gosh.
Green. I do favor dry beers. Dry beers are nice. Dry. Hey, if you're gonna have some champagne, make sure you have some dry or extra dry champagne. Do yourself a favor, because you're gonna get a different flavor off that, and it's gonna get a different residual. Make sure it's just a little note. If you're ever actually looking for good champagne, don't always get like the I mean, there's just I don't do a cheap champagne anymore, so I don't even know what's going on. But dry does. Oh my God, no, you didn't. Speaking of dry, there's not a dry eye in the house because of whatever this is.
Using AI art has created what Disney does to your childhood, which is,
oh my God,
Minecraft your inner child. Artax is your inner child, and it will be drowned in the swamp of sadness that is Disney.
Dude, wow. Childhood trauma edition.
I totally hijacked it back from an interesting talk about booze, because this is a pop culture show, and there's only really 3 beers for me, and that is the beers that I drink.
Oh,
but
man,
yeah,
let's go ahead.
How sad is that, dude? This is what Disney is doing to everything that we hold dear.
This is what Disney.
Fight against the sadness, Artex! Artex, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you.
Dude, I can't. If we play it again, I'll probably come back in tears.
Good Lord. When I was a kid, I remember watching that movie in theaters. My aunt and uncle in Laguna took me to see that movie at the Cinemaplex or whatever it was called. And I was all excited. We got there early. I was playing Star Wars pinball. The Death Star one, where the Death Star, if you got in the Death Star would open up and then you get the pinball in there. And I was sitting there, I was rocking out of the pinball machine, and it was time to go see the movie. And we go see the movie, and I come out, and I'm just like, cute the horse. Cute the horse. Artex is dead. I ugly cried through that entire scene at like 8 or however old I was in grade school.
So many of the concepts are just absolutely lost on a child, like the schizophrenic or dual personality of the giant tortoise, which makes a lot of what this uncapped turtle we talk to a lot makes sense. I'm
telling you guys.
It matters, but yes.
I do have one thing to say to Uncapped Turtle about his horrible take on Japanese beers.
What?
Where he was saying that Asahi is, the best, and Sapporo or Kirin is second best. All I have to say to you, sir.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Oh, good Lord, man. I tell you.
So,
I don't know, man.
Dude, so what?
Uncapped Turtle is so affected by Atrix. Is it Artax? It's Artax, right? Artax. Artax dying that he blocked it from his memory, as you should. But that, sir, that is what happens to your childhood when it goes through Disney.
Yeah, it's it is curious. So we're very glad for those who weren't here earlier. The rumor mill had been spouting that Disney had somehow obtained the rights and released already a poster for the Neverending Story to come out sometime this year. That is apparently wrong. Although what's weird is I didn't find anything about Disney saying, "Oh, hey, there's all this stuff on social media about us doing Neverending Story, and we're not doing that." Instead, I had to find some article on IMDb about somebody who knew what was going on, where the original author's estate, the original author of the Neverending Story, the book, his estate has the rights now, got the rights to the film, and they're working with Seesaw Films to do something. So sometime soon there will be something that is the Neverending Story, is in the Neverending Story universe. A new Neverending Story series or series of films will be coming out from Seesaw Films, but no additional news on that other than Disney will not be R-taxing this franchise.
R-taxing. I hope. Well, Disney's aggressive.
R-taxing is a crime.
Disney is like nature. They are like nature. Somehow they find a way. So I would not put it. I'm hoping that Disney doesn't get their grubby little Kathleen Kennedy stained horrible hands on this, but I wouldn't. They might still wheel and deal, man. Because honestly, they're doing so poorly. And everything that they've been making has been flopping so badly. Not just because it's woke, because we understand that, I worked at Disney. I got hired at Disney when I was 18, many, many moons ago. And they were pushing this woke DEI agenda then. And that was 20 years ago. But it's just, and that's just been, it's like a constant march towards that whole, we don't care about meritocracy. We don't care about what's good, who's good at what they do. We care about hiring people that look a certain way, that we can fill quotas, and that also think exactly. And I'm talking exactly the way that they think. I mean, there is a litmus test for your politics to line up like doot. And you can't get a job if you look like you or I. Like you just can't. It's just not going to happen anymore. But you also have to have the political mindset that lines up with them. And it's very Einsfight. It's very Prussian in that kind of funny mustache WW2 bad guy way. And because of that, it doesn't even matter that they're putting the left wing woke message in stuff. It's just, you've not hired based on merit, so everything just is bad. And then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're also going to force feed you all this rainbow crap, and wrap it in shitty wrapping paper. So everything sucks. So they're desperate for new content. They're like, we need to get, and they love the nostalgia route. So I think it might happen still. I think it might happen. Sorry, I went on a long rant there, but am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
This is not gospel, but he is right.
Now, dude, you haven't played Baldur's Gate yet, have you?
Baldur's Gate? How dare you ask about my personal affairs?
Or Baldur's Gate 3, I should say, because there's a bunch of Baldur's Gates. But Baldur's Gate 3, you haven't played
Baldur's
Gate 3.
Play a little Baldur's Dash, if you know what I mean. But no Baldur's Gate. I'm a gateless kind of Baldur, if you know what I mean.
Which is really sad because you know what? That would be a good stream that we do, is you and I playing Baldur's Gate 3.
It sounds really odd. That would be a good stream for us.
It would be a good stream because what it would be is you and I going and playing this game, and because essentially Baldur's Gate 3 is this video game from BioWare. It's a CRPG, that's a computer RPG. It's one of the most popular games right now on Steam. I think it's like top 3 all time on for Steam games or something like that. Chat can challenge me on that statement. It might be a little bit wild, or maybe this year. It's a very popular video game right now. And the funny thing about it is that this is another game that's like kind of shoved that like woke, like, you know, everyone, you know, agenda into the game. But the game's really good.
Oh, really? This is
like
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. It's actually a really, really good game. If you can get past, there's a whole section where it's kind of like a sexual harassment training exercise. Like it's a little bit of a sexual harassment simulator.
Is this Baldur's Gate like 2 or 7, or is it just Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. Okay.
Yeah, so we should play this on a stream.
Hold on.
So it's kind of a sexual harassment simulation, because the first act you're playing as a character, and when you go up and talk to a character, you're like, "Oh, hi, character. Do you have anything interesting to say?" And they're basically like, "I want to have sex with you."
Is this? Wait, is this it? Is this what we're looking at?
Yeah, let's watch that for a second. Can we watch this without getting copyright strike? I mean, video games don't really care as much. It's a really cool game.
Hold on, let me get a little of this out.
Are you doing double sound? Oh, no.
I saved you. And I'm here to save you again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I saved you, and I'm here to save you.
Go ahead and try to give this woman a neck hug with that crazy spike around.
Are they going to do the Spider-Man thing? Are they going to do the Spider-Man thing?
Spider-Man kiss! Oh, Spider-Man kiss! Do it!
Like, seriously.
The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness.
This is a boring trailer. I want
the
action.
infected hear the voice of the absolute and believe it to be a god.
The absolute is more dangerous than you
voice acting is so good.
Dude, it's all about like premium video game voice acting. It just cannot be topped. Like when you play,
and this is an RPG. You know, like when you used to play RPGs.
feels...
You know when you used to play RPGs and like the characters, you just have to read everything. You know,
right.
And they would have like voice acting for maybe the cutscenes or whatever. Right. This is kind of like a Rocksteady game. You know, GTA or Red Dead Redemption, except it's a role-playing game, and there is no reading. I mean, you don't have to read if you don't want.
No reading.
If you're like illiterate like I am, yeah, if you're illiterate like I am, you can just play this game. It's totally fine.
All right, hold on. Let's watch a little bit more.
It threatens all who live. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very fabric of the universe itself.
How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bugs?
Whoa. Is that Gina Carano? Wow, I didn't realize.
It's basically Gina Carano with horns. Yeah.
It's pretty savage.
Bastards.
Blackett blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
Look at those owlbears. Owlbears.
Oh, goddamn liberals.
Do you know what an owlbear is? You don't even know what an owlbear is.
I have no idea.
Owlbear is an owl-bear mix. So the woman would rather choose the bear than the man. She ain't choosing the owlbear, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much, okay?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. How many owlbears does it take? Hold on.
Watching you try.
Oh, did you see that sick chess move in that video game that guy did?
In moments, all that you have dreaded will come to pass.
Wait, what
This is what I'm talking. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. No, pause it real quick. That's what I'm talking about. Pause it real quick.
The rest come to pass.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this game.
Wait, I was
this
like, wait
is
a
the
minute.
problem, though. This is the
What
problem.
am I watching?
So,
quick?
like,
is
this
Leisure?
game is so
This is actually
ridiculous.
Baldur's Gate Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah. This is Baldur's Gate, a degenerate's paradise. So it is a bit of a sexual harassment simulation. It really is, because everyone in the game is trying to bed your character. And you're like, I'm just trying to play the freaking game, dude. I don't care. And there's like a guy that's like, not, and so it's like you play a guy character and like all the dudes. Like everyone's gay, everyone's straight all at the same time. Everyone. everyone's like, I guess, bi or whatever. There's like one guy that's like, hey, you're not interested in me as a man? How about a bear?
And then
yeah, dude, it's that degenerate, and they're just like, I just want to play a game with dragons. Where are the dragons? Where are the orcs? I want to kill some goblins. Why is everyone trying to put things in my butt? Like, why is everyone trying to put things in my butt?
And I don't know how hyperbolic you're being, but at the same time, I'm like trying to imagine a game where as I'm like trying to play, like these other random characters are coming and they're just like, hey, so like, can I like go down on you? And you're like, hey, no, hold on, I'm trying to do an adventure here. Okay, later, bye. And then someone's like, oh, hey, I was just hoping to, like maybe we can bone down later. And you're like, wait, what? No, I'm trying to get a dragon and there's a castle and stuff. No. Wait, like everyone just keeps trying to have sex with you? Seriously?
So Amoeba just says, Amoeba, thank you, Amoeba.
What did Amoeba say?
She says, he's not. And I think she's referring to me not being hyperbolic. I am not being hyperbolic. I am being 100% right. I normally at the Salty and Savage show, I'm very hyperbolic. I'm a fan of hyperbole, like a big fan of hyperbole. Not being hyperbolic at all, bro. Like at all. Everyone is trying to put something in your butt. Like everyone is just like, let's do that. Let's get naked. Naked time. Really I want some naked time. And you're like, and I'm playing this game going, this isn't just a fantasy adventure game. This is a sexual harassment simulation. That's done really well. So I'm just saying, note to Disney with your Acolyte, you can do all your stuff about butt stuff, and all your weird stuff. And you're like, if you do it well, if you tell a good story, people are gonna watch. But you can't tell a good story.
All right, let me try to get some more of this Baldur's Gate in me, if you know what I mean.
Straight up,
screaming stops and your mind.
People trying to put things in your butt.
The rest, perhaps, is
get out of my butt.
See that gerbil? You see that gerbil? You see that gerbil?
Oh, dude, I didn't realize Richard.
Yeah, there's a gerbil there because that goes up your butt. Richard Gere could not be. We couldn't find Richard Gere for commenting on that.
Richard Gere was unavailable for comment. Allegedly, supposedly, reportedly.
Supposedly, something or other. What? I don't know.
That was.
But here's something funny. Here's something funny we can.
What else? What do you got?
We carry mind flayer parasites.
What?
Within days, we will be gay. Mind flayers.
What?
Oh, shit.
Ah! This is the beginning of the game.
So what are we to do now?
Well,
can you turn it up a little?
How many years on this earth I got left? I'm gonna get real weird with it.
What a sweet little birdie. You want some food? Want some... Ah, you seagull!
The goddess Mistra. She revealed...
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to tell a story. Real quick. Because we have this character on the screen. So this character...
Is that me?
He's a wizard or like a mage, right? His class, like he's a class that's a mage.
Oh, hey, how are you doing? Oh,
yeah,
hey.
And he's all like, "Hey, I'm sexy British guy with my open collar and yeah." So
hey, you want to do a job?
You want to, but yeah, except no, he wants to do something else. So when you're like, I'm playing my male character. I was like a ranger. I usually play like a ranger. I usually do a ranger character or like a fallen paladin. That's like a combination of a paladin and a warlock. So there's like what I like to play. So I'm playing my character and I'm a ranger. And so I'm all like, bow and arrow, Aragorn running around, blah, blah, sword, and he's like, hey, you want to learn some magic? And I'm like, dude, I'd like to learn some magic. That sounds cool.
Learn some magic.
Wait, I can learn magic as a range. I can learn some magic as a ranger being taught by this funny British mage. Awesome. So he's like, yeah, check out. So do this. And you're like, oh, I'll do this magic. And you start doing the magic. And then all of a sudden, your character and his character start looking at each other. And they're all like smiling and like, hey. And the narrator's all, hey. The moment feels like the moment before a kiss. And I'm all, whoa. What's going on? I did not agree to any of this. And I seriously, very stupidly, walked into a grooming session where this guy in a position of authority was like, I want to stick something in your butt. And I was like, dude, what? And then you're like, now you're caught between a rock and a hard place because He's in your party, and if you piss him off, they could potentially leave your party, and then you don't have cool mage magic anymore when you're fighting goblins.
Man. Oh,
And I'm like, well, clearly I don't want anything in my butt, so no thanks, dude. And he's all like, fine, whatever. And I'm like, what the is going on? I gave no indication for that, and he's just like, hey. And you walk right into it, and the narrator's all like, you guys are about to kiss. And I'm like, there's no about to kiss anyone. I'm not doing this because I'm so like conservative that I'm all like, if I'm having sex with video game characters, I'm kind of cheating on my wife. This is weird and gross, and I don't want to be here.
No, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Anyway, that's that character.
Herself to me, and she became my teacher, and later even my lover.
You bang my dead wife?
Oh yes.
Look out!
Death is not the end, merely another beginning.
That's good. Can you conjure the dead? Can you get my dead whore wife back here so I can lay into her from the other side? Hello?
Guest?
Ongo Goblogian, the art collector. Put the bottle in.
My dad!
Don't judge me, this is art! Allow me to destroy your gallery. Bullshit. Bullshit. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love. It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.
Oh man, dude.
You unleashed.
Oh my god. So good, guys. I'm sorry.
Make sure to subscribe.
If you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, none of that's funny to you. If you haven't seen, well, I should say some of that's funny to you. And if you've never seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia and never played Baldur's Gate, I'm sorry that your life is not as full as mine. And Simply Green is right. Yeah, that was disappointing, bro. That was kind of like a little bit disappointing, I'll say. Maybe we should do a review. We should play it together, and then we can review it as a team, because there is a lot to criticize about that game too. It's a little disappointing. It's a little disappointing.
That's but what's the games? What are the games we want to actually play together? We want to get a little. Are you trying to get me into some World of Warcraft or something? What are we trying to?
I don't know, man. I think. Oh, you know what?
I mean, it would be dope if we could get on and do some like Red Dead, because that's my bread and butter right there.
I would say, okay, so the Baron is our moderator. They probably should end the what's it called?
Poll.
The survey, the poll.
The survey
and do a new poll
for Wednesday.
And everyone watching on X can come over and partake in this new poll.
Come on, guys.
What game should we play? World of Warcraft, Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wait, so the game, like we're putting the game where they're constantly trying to bang you, like in the...
Oh yeah, because that would just be funny.
I'm not against it. I'm just making sure like we're actually putting that in the running.
We'll play the sexual harassment simulator. Play the sexual harassment simulator.
Go on.
Okay, the first person that mentions a game, that's the fourth game that will be on the poll.
Oh,
first person.
Snap. It's like Earthworm
Because I'm like,
Jim.
I'm trying to think like, oh wait, there's a new game coming out. There's a couple of new games coming out. Oh, the Dragon Age. We could play that one.
No. The Veil? The
Veil Guard? That looks a
Guard?
little dumb.
No.
You know?
It looks terrible.
No, okay. The first good idea, Amoeba, World at War.
Ooh, dude, what about gosh, what is that? There's this guy, this streamer that I watch sometimes, Alpine Sniper. He plays this like World War II simulator that's so dope and so
Is it dope? Is it dope like fun dope, or like is he just fun?
Like super realistic. He's also very good, but it's very militaristic. Like you're working with everybody who's playing is online together. Like that's what it's all about.
I mean, this could be interesting if we played together online and then played other people and just got completely smoked because we'd be terrible.
I've never
at that
played
game.
any COD. Never played any COD before.
Dude.
So.
Ooh, BioShock would be a good one. We could go through retro games.
That would be kind of cool to hit up some retro stuff because there's
Oh,
definitely
you know what? No,
BioShock
okay.
I've never played.
I'm sorry, Amoeba. You got me thinking. So we're gonna do a poll for World of Warcraft, Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption, or Fallout. New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas.
That's probably. I mean, that sounds like a. I mean, I haven't played Fallout New Vegas, and I feel like that's a super. That'd be a super cool franchise to.
That would be good because Fallout the season 2
I haven't
of
watched
Amazon
the series. Yeah.
Fallout season 2 of Amazon on Amazon, which that Fallout series, guys, it was good. It was really good. That Fallout series is going to lead into New Vegas, so that would be kind of fun.
Oh,
too,
okay, rad. It's gonna just go right.
We're going to be watching Fallout season 2 and giving it a lot of reviewing time, probably every episode. Okay. That's one of the things that I'm actually very pleasant about. It was like a new Hollywood show. That's good, man. That's really, really, really good. Female lead, great. It was good because she wasn't a Mary Sue. You know, she wasn't good at anything. She was good in the
That's
vault.
just a terrible name anyway. Like who does this Mary Sue? Come on.
But you know, like when you have a female character and it's like she's immediately good at everything. She's better than all the guys and she's like the best. And I think that they were like kind of setting that up because in the vault, because like in Fallout, you know, you're in a vault and you're sheltered. You don't know what's going on. And so she was good in the vault, and then she gets out into the wasteland. It's like a Mad Max world and everything's going on. And she sucks at everything. She's overwhelmed and doesn't know what's going on, which made for a much more interesting story than I think the Acolyte ever will be. And Savage is in quiet contemplation as he looks and thinks and wonders.
Apologize. I was just trying to catch up on the chickadee chat here. We got everybody's just. I appreciate all the input and the shout outs and whatnot.
But in the chat, and this is where you're watching on X. We got
Right.
over 300 people watching right now, mostly on X. Check it out. Check us out on YouTube so we can get the like and subscribe, or just give me and the Salty and Savage Show a follow on X because either one is really, really good for us. But is there anything the chat wants us to talk about? Because there's a lot, man. There's a lot going on.
Dude, I feel like we went over. I mean, we've done 2 top 5s already, which is crazy.
You know what we need to watch?
No,
so it was Father's Day this weekend, right? Like Sunday was Father's Day.
Hey, fathers! My father was a hell of a man, and big shout out, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
All right, I have something very wonderful for everyone to watch for Father's Day. That was just this last Sunday. If you guys have not seen this,
we have to watch something.
Oh my gosh.
This old guy's in so many videos.
Like, nope, you gotta tuck it in, buddy. You gotta tuck it in.
As you tell him to bring it up, the New Balance.
And it's like, you can't just put the shoes on. You gotta tie it so tight. The funny part is that this is literally
so many videos.
This is literally how my dad dressed for several decades.
Wow.
He's finally loosened it up where he's like, "Yeah, I don't tuck my shirt in.
I wear a black belt now instead of brown."
And he's now doing the lower ankle socks. You know, like
casual. Yeah, I do that ankle.
So he's like, but he's still doing the khaki shorts.
Still rocking it.
Rocking
khaki shorts.
I mean, I know this is like Amoeba says this is an old video. I'm sorry. I just saw it this weekend and I cried laughing so hard.
That it was probably from 6, it's probably from 2 or 3 Father's Days ago. I can't believe you didn't see it, Salty.
Well, you know, like we always say on the Salty and Savage show, there's two things that are a common theme here. Make America 80s again, and we are always a day late and a dollar short on all the latest memes and other things.
It comes with the age.
It comes with the age. Look, you know, whatever.
Hey, do you like I'm finally getting comfy here in the Midwest. I'm finally getting some things set up. I know there were some people earlier who commented on the axes back there. Totally appreciate the shout out. But like, how are we looking back here? I've got the Salty and Savage colors and everything. Kind of matching you. It's almost like we're almost looking professional. Like we should do this or something like that.
The set's looking nice. It's looking mighty.
I got
nice.
my fancy gold chair with the pink back. I mean, this is like velour or something. This is like a Cadillac of a chair. I mean, it says Audi up here, but it's like a Cadillac.
Yeah.
It's domestic, I swear.
It's domestic, I swear. So Christian Toto, who's a friend of the show, and if you don't know who Christian Toto is, you should check out his blog on the interwebs called Hollywood and Toto. Literally one of the it's actually one of the go-tos for me, and it will be for Savage, but he had a really good take, and we were kind of talking about it with Acolyte, where, you know, he says when people say what's wrong with woke, he's like, I have a simpler answer. It takes you out of the story immediately, like this. And then he has this scene from that Neurotic posted.
This puzzle. Is he or they with us? With Matt?
And it's like, see, that's what I was talking about with the awkward. Did you guys hear the audio, or was there no audio?
No, we got it.
Oh yeah,
we got it.
The audio, right?
It's just
it's awkward and forced.
It was one of those things like they really tried to slip it in and make it super casual. They tried to not put it in your face. But what ended up happening is that in the way that she kind of paused and like, oh my God, like almost corrected herself, that is where it then, and you're like, oh, they did that on purpose. And it's like, you're not so.
But that's the thing is they tell on themselves. They told on themselves in that moment.
Yeah, they did, and that was the thing. It's like at this point, like, am I even mad? You know, that they told on themselves, because we know this is what's going to happen. It was just a matter of like how are we? Why are we even still mad that they're doing this? Because this is what they do, right? It's so crazy. It's just constantly, you're like, dude, why do you feel the need to do this? This is completely unnecessary to take that extra half second or whatever it is. And the line was delivered, you know, well, probably exactly how they wanted it, but it could have easily, the way that they slipped it in, the way that they had written it in, you would have never known. It's like, is he or they or with us? Like, what are they? Like, it could have been so easy instead of her having to like correct herself, like, oh, oops, sorry, they, or I don't know. Let me check myself. Hold on. Let me just check. Hold on. I need to check is there a new pronoun list? Should I get my Rolodex, my new pronoun Rolodex? Hold on a second. Let me just check. Hold on.
Well, that's the thing is the pause tells you everything. The pause lets you know that what they were thinking about what they were doing, and it was on purpose. Because like I said before, you have an animal type like character that, you know, you could call like Cousin It. It's like a new Cousin It beaver character. And if you said
beaver, that's what it looked like. Earlier I was thinking like squirrel or what? Beaver.
No, you know what it looks like?
Beaver.
It looks like a woodchuck. More than a beaver. It looks like a friggin' woodchuck.
Oh man, now you got to.
And we got those things running around here where I live in the South, man. All these woodchucks.
Guy with axes. Don't even talk to me about woodchucks.
So easily could have just been like, are they part of the crew or whatever she says? And no, it's that pause. It's that pause to let you know that we're doing this. It's that pause to let you know you should start thinking this way. And it's not even a natural thing. So like if it was a natural thing, because in Star Wars, they're in the future, it's different. It's a little like Doctor Who with Captain Jack Harkness, where he just, you know, in the future, men just sleep with everything. Old school Doctor Who. And so it just kind of felt natural. But now it's like, no, we no longer want the degeneracy to feel natural. We want to proselytize this degeneracy and make you feel bad because you don't do this or think about doing this either. And that's the part that I find super gross, man. It's just like, honestly, we need to reject it because no one talks like this. I'm sorry. no one talks like this, and we shouldn't talk like this, and we shouldn't upend the entire English language and how we relate to each other by doing this. This is simply just narcissistic people trying to control the language so they can keep everyone on their toes. And the moment that you misstep, they go, I got you. Now I can go to the HR department and I can go and get you fired and take your job because I have no marketable skills. And the only thing that I have is being an HR manipulator, Survivor Island douchebag. Sorry.
Ooh, Survivor Island.
Yeah, that's what they've turned corporate America into, is Survivor Island. It's all this like, oh, you said the wrong word. I must go to HR. And they go to HR and they're like, oh, that really good person that's great at their job. Well, they said this and now you must fire them so I can have their job because I wouldn't be able to compete with that. But, you know, I look this way and I use these pronouns and they didn't know them. And you're like, I'm sorry. You look like a dude. Well, you should know that I've changed my pronouns to, yeah.
And
yeah. And if you don't use my pronouns, everyone, which are king and lord, then you'll be in trouble.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, that's my rant. Savage probably does, Savage has got his own take or whatever and his own opinion, so don't hold him to it. But that is, I'm just tired of it, man. It's like, dude, it was one thing when it was like, hey, don't be a jerk to me. I'm right there with you. I don't want to be a jerk to anybody. Now it's like, no. You have to now live in my fictional world with me, and if you don't, you're a bigot. And it's like, sorry, what?
Yes, the planet of Begot. It's an interesting planet. The people from there are difficult to deal with. The planet of Begot.
The planet? I don't even know what that. Where?
Hey, I heard we're gonna do a job on a planet of Begot. This is a new Star Wars guy.
What do we call them on the planet of Begot?
Oh, Begotians, or the Begots.
It's crazy that we have over 350 people watching on X and only 10 people watching on YouTube. So I guess everyone should we just do this show on X and screw YouTube? But then no one talks in the chat, and then I don't know what to do when we go into the extra hours.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't know what to do anyway. So
I never know what to do. What shall we do?
I'm aimlessly wandering this earth, and I've found.
Oh, you know what would be a good thing to do since we have a bunch of people. We have a bunch of people watching on the X there. They many of them probably haven't seen our amazing music video about a man that got away with murder.
Oh my God.
A man that got away with murder.
Should I roll that tasty bean footage?
Yeah, I think so. Forgive me, Amoeba. Forgive me.
All right, I love this music video. Check this out.
Unbelievably, the most watched, most wondered about man in America has gone missing tonight.
The intersection of the 5 and the 91 freeway. One thing we have been noticing, again, it's a very slow pursuit, followed by numerous highway patrol vehicles. But because of the intensity, it seems like people have heard about what's going on, and all the overpasses that we've seen have been lined with cars.
Guilty shadows haunt the night. Dark secrets locked away so tight. OJ on the run. Oh, what a sight. High speed chase, sirens blaring in the moonlight. Fame and glory now turned to shame. The taste of freedom lost in this twisted game. OJ. The man with the bloodstained fame, innocent or guilty, who's to blame? Running from the truth, chasing dreams in the night. Oh, okay. You can't from my faithful light. Guilty shadows follow you, day and night. In the darkness, justice finds its light.
One of our LA affiliates. Police believe that O.J. Simpson is in that car. Okay. Police believe he is in that vehicle.
911, what are you reporting? This is AC. I have O.J. in the car.
turn to shame. The taste of freedom lost in this twisted game. OJ, the man with the bloodstained fame, innocent or guilty, who's to blame? Running from the truth, chasing dreams in the night. Oh, OJ, you cried from the faithful light. Guilty shadows follow you, day and night. In the darkness, justice finds its light.
In the darkness, justice finds its might. Oh, whoa.
Oh, here's something interesting actually that I wanted to talk about with everybody.
Sorry, I was just grooving a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, you can groove all you want.
All right, go on.
So, oh, you know what,
dude? I love that. I still love that song. Amoeba is super upset at that. Amoeba is super upset at this because it's. She said it's been living rent free in her head all week.
Well,
I'm so sorry,
Amoeba,
but
I'm sorry that. Our song is good, and OJ is guilty, and things happen, and life happens. But
and his
so
life.
here is some interesting news. So Tom Hardy doesn't think Mad Max. Tom Hardy doesn't think Mad Max: The Wasteland is happening.
No,
and I'm not happy about this. And here's the thing. This is the thing, dude. Hollywood is so dumb. Like the problem with Hollywood is that they're kind of like a man with a nagging wife. You know what I mean? Because they don't listen. They don't listen. Listen. You know what they are? They're like that one. That woman that just you say you're like, hey, this is what I want, and she's like, no, this is what you need. And you're like, no. I told you what I wanted. And they're like, no, this is what you need. And then when they give you what they think you need, you're like, I don't want this. This is not what I want. And then they're like, well, fine. Well, we're not doing anything then. And you're like, or you could just do what I want. You can just do what I want. So yeah, it says let's get on the salty glasses here because my eyes aren't great.
Get on.
Tom Hardy has suggested George Miller's Mad Max: The Wasteland is not happening, quashing hopes of a second Fury Road prequel after Furiosa. The actor who played Mad Max Rotatansky in Mad Max Fury Road offered Forbes an update on the rumored prequel, which would take place after Furiosa, but 1 year before Fury Road, with Hardy back in the lead role. I don't think it's happening. He said, signaling that a return to the Wasteland is not on the horizon. This is crappy news. This is terrible news. I'm irritated with this news. I don't like this news.
We all want Tom Hardy to do, I don't know, more anything, and especially more Mad Max. It feels like this man was made to Mad Max. He was made to Mad Max.
See, and my wife always gives me what I ask for, never, and often what I need, which is right there. Oh, look at that. Just dripping. It's just dripping.
Oh, get off. Look at that. Look at it. So,
I love beer.
So the news of that, the news of, sorry, what am I doing here? There we go. The news of Tom Hardy, this thing. So Tom Hardy thinks it's not going to happen. There isn't somebody who
so there's one of two things. Like, one is that they're just putting the seed out there, and this is what often happens. They'll put the seed out, like, hey, it's not going to happen, as a way to like see how the internet reacts.
And maybe get
so that's
funding
most likely what's happening here.
Right,
however, if it is true, it's like no one asked for a Furiosa film. Like, no one wanted a Furiosa film. Fury Road was cool. It was like, oh, this is cool. But like I worked on the Fury Road film on the marketing side of things, and I got to see like an early cut, and I was really excited about the movie. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to work on this film. I got to be the lead creative on the campaign, and I was stoked, or the pitch for the campaign.
This guy, I mean, I'm just hanging out with this guy, and he's like, oh, by the way, I was just leading the pitch on the campaign, and I was just doing all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, come on.
Well, I got to see an early cut of the film, and I was excited. I couldn't wait. So we went over to the studio to watch the film. We sat down and watched the film, and I remember walking back to the parking lot and just being like, "That's not a Mad Max movie. It's a Mad Max cameo. This is gonna. I'm not happy about this.
Great Mad Max cameo.
A lot of people love the movie. Like a lot of because the thing is like it was a good movie
cameo.
But as someone that didn't know anything about it, there was no marketing because I was being tasked to do some of the to lead some of the marketing.
As a big music head, I got to shout out to the soundtrack because that's going to be Junkie XL. That guy Tom Holkenborg or whatever. That guy he tutelaged under Hans Zimmer. This guy's a percussionist. He started out as a DJ. He knows his music and he worked on like the sequel to 300. He worked on. He worked on a number. He actually did a bunch of the stuff for the Dark Knight franchise.
Yeah,
he was directly under Hans and all the percussion. He was just letting this guy just handle it, and just the music is incredible, regardless of
No, so it's a really well done movie, and most people that saw it really liked it. But I think everyone was ready because Charlize Theron was in it and like more prep. Like I was going into it thinking Tom Hardy's Mad Max. This is gonna be dope.
Yeah. Everybody was super like that was what they were thinking.
Yeah. And it was the curveball, and I walked out because I wasn't prepared, and I was like, I'm not happy about this. So when they're like, I'm gonna launch Furiosa, I'm all, no, I'm not seeing it, dude. I want Mad Max, George Miller. Like, and when I found out that like George Miller was consulted with some feminists to how to like make it more like appealing to women. Here's the thing: you never ask women what is more appealing to them. You never do. Either get a wife and talk to your wife and have a good relationship with your wife, because that's the only way you're gonna remotely understand what would be appealing to women, is if you actually have like a close relationship with your wife. Other than that, like women won't tell you. They'll tell you the exact opposite of what women want. Like women, when women give each other advice about how to date a guy or what to do, they always give them. It's like don't listen to them. Don't do it. Every woman watching this video right now or watching the podcast right now knows that's true. Women give terrible advice about what women want. It's true. I'm sorry. I'm a chauvinist. I can't help it. It's the way that I was born. I think that they're doing the test thing. I would go if they did a Mad Max. If the Furiosa film wasn't a Furiosa film, it was a Mad Max film. I would have gone to the theaters. I'll be like, we haven't seen a movie in 4 years at theaters. Wife, we're going to the movies.
I need to watch more movies now. There's a local theater here that's super small that like one of our nieces works at. So, and you get with your ticket, you get a soda and popcorn.
Oh,
it's like, and you get to see the movie, and it's like $8 or something stupid.
No, it's $8 and you get soda. Like usually, it's like
and
$8 for the ticket.
And if you're just walking down the street on Main Street and you want some popcorn, you can just walk into the theater and you're like, "Can I get some popcorn to go?" And they're like, "Sure, no problem." And it's like $1 or something stupid. It's awesome.
See, everything's better. Everything's better in flyover country. Everything is better in flyover country.
Midwest is getting some big props from somebody who was just like stuck in Cali his whole life. I mean, there's so much about Cali that I absolutely love and miss so much. But oh my God, there's so much that you're just like, what are they doing out there? Like, who's
controlling here? Yes. Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there are certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
And democrated.
Yeah. And that's what's wrong with California, right there in a nutshell. You could sum it up with one word and one word only. It is democrated.
The cheaper zero alcohol, zero ethanol gas that I can get, the cheaper everything. I can walk to everything in this town, and we're working on, incorporating ourselves into the town, maybe taking over a local business, trying to expand horizons, and it's like, who knows? But the Midwest it's really something else. I've been quite surprised. The people are aside from needing Beard Balm, believe me, guys in the Midwest need some Beard Balm.
They need a lot of things. They need to stop watching Korn and learn how to talk to women.
Luckily, I'm here. Yeah, I mean, Korn's an okay band. Like, I wouldn't listen to them all the time, but dude, there's
I don't mean that. I don't mean
there's so much Korn. There's so much Korn.
There is so much Korn, and it makes you weird. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. The best part is I don't have to watch the Korn. I got railroad tracks and the Mississippi River, so I got a pretty great view.
I have another good story. Speaking of beer,
who's got another good story? Maybe it's about some beer. Yeah.
So apparently. So you get ad blocker, and then I'm still getting Wall Street Journal ads. Like, what's the deal? I got ad blocker. I don't want to see this.
Dude,
I don't want to see that.
I specifically got ad blocker for this browser and show, and there was something I was playing earlier. I'm like, is there an ad on the side of that freaking thing?
Right? Like, what's the deal?
Going on?
So the Simpsons writer hits back. I can read those words.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses stars. Claim he inspired Duff Beard.
Oh my god! Yeah. He must have said it on Sirius XM or something like that.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
The Simpsons writer producer Jay Kogan has hit back at Guns N' Roses bassist Duff McKagan. If you don't know who Duff McKagan is, I feel sorry for you. You should.
It's so great that it's Kogan and McKagan. Like, what? How are your names so similar? Like, what are you?
Kogan McKagan.
Kogan McKagan. The law offices of Kogan and McKagan.
So yeah, apparently he was claiming that Duff Beer was they got that idea from him and his name, and Kogan told TMZ, as this is very important breaking news, by the way. So important that Kogan told TMZ that despite McKagan's claims that his name inspired the fictional boozy beverage in the animated series, he and his fellow writers created the brand without influence. He has also asserted that The Simpsons team didn't know any Guns N' Roses band members' names, except for the lead vocalist Axl Rose. And no one did. We knew Slash and Axl Rose, and I just learned today that Duff McKagan was in the band as well. I never knew. I only knew of the curly guy that you never saw his eyes.
It's Izzy, Dizzy, Duff, Slash, and Axl. I think we're all the guys.
Yeah. So sorry, bud.
It sounds like New Kids on the Block or something like that. It's like, oh, Izzy, Dizzy, Duff, Slash, and Axl. They're the cool ones.
They're the cool ones.
Because they have like slightly different names than Izzy, Dizzy, and Duff.
Yeah. So speaking of beer, Duff beer,
I could be totally wrong, and the chat can totally tell me that I'm regarded because of all of it, but. Regards.
Yeah, dude, seriously. We got some more news,
I was there. What is The Witcher season 4 set photos reveal a first look at Lawrence Fishburne as Regis.
Yeah.
And Kathy Lee. He's playing both. He's such an actor.
Never. So these are spoilery. So if you guys don't want to,
I don't care. Like, who cares? Like, really?
So let's look. Ooh,
if you don't know about this, like,
first look.
I have not watched. Look at that. Those are solid photographs. Those photographs are stunning.
So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, so I haven't heard, and maybe the chat can correct or help us out.
Fishburne.
But what's his name's no longer playing Geralt.
Dumbledore.
No, Geralt, man. You know who Geralt is?
No,
you don't know who Geralt is? Okay.
I'm kidding.
What's his name? Superman. Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill.
Yes.
I was like, did he get recast? Like, what's going on? I haven't really heard anything about it other than so Lawrence Fishburne is apparently in it now.
Harry
he plays
Fishburne.
He's playing. He looks like
so good. He's so good.
See this right here. Ooh, shaky camera going on. They're like, ooh, we got a spine.
You know it's
spine.
good.
Oh, ad removed. Yeah,
ad
removed.
Right,
I got ad blocker.
Yeah. Also, they removed your ability to watch the video. So. Guess what happened?
Just go through,
You
and then
just
the next bit of news on CBS. Oh yeah, it looks like
what
you're
is
using
the
ad
next
blocker.
bit of
That's right, I'm using ad blocker. Stop it! Oh, back to Bane.
Did you see
I'll
that
fix
there
it
was
next time.
a video? Go on. What
So
do you
this
got
is a
here?
nice little
New York
news ad
schools
right
submitting
here.
traditional.
Students in one school district are learning history and civics in a new way.
CBS News' Michael George shows us how some comic books are now being used in the classroom.
This isn't a typical social studies class.
Full screen it.
to look.
Full screen it.
Yeah, do it. Oh, beautiful.
So apparently they're using comic books.
This is kind of interesting.
Well,
Okay.
is it? Well, I will say. Okay, so
what? I'm super interested in what's happening.
This is
right
Chicago.
now. Yeah.
So
what?
Chicago's education system not much better than California's.
Hey.
California is 50 is 48 of 50.
Would
48 of 50.
Would you say that you and I are like, fairly well educated individuals?
Bro, I could not tell time until I was in high school.
Okay, never mind. Okay, we're idiots. Never mind.
So, no, I went to LA Unified, and I kind of just, I was really good at history because I loved history. I loved reading. So I was really good at English and history. And I excelled at art.
We love that you love history.
And I was terrible at math. My mom basically educated me, so my mom was okay at math. So I was just terrible at math.
My mother was a space wizard.
And I couldn't tell time until high school because my mom one time, and she tricked me. She asked me, what time is it? And I looked, and she was standing in front of the microwave. So I was like, and there was a clock right above where, there's the sink, the microwave, and then the clock above the sink. And I looked, and I was trying to look at the microwave. And she stood in front of the microwave. And I was like, and she's like, you can't tell time. So at like 15 years old, my mom had to teach me how to tell time because I never learned in LA Unified because I was Democrated.
I had an interestingly regarded teacher when I was in high school that had a binary clock in class. So in like I don't know, sophomore or junior year, I knew how to read a binary clock on the wall of what time it was, which was
aren't you fancy?
Which helps nobody at any time ever. I was like, why is this a thing? He's like, oh, look how cool this is. And that later on I realized how I'm like, that teacher was a little touched, wasn't he? That guy was a little I think that teacher was a little touched, wasn't he? He was.
So let's see. Oh,
he was amazing though. That same. Also, a quick note: that same teacher had sweet talked, and I shit you not, that same teacher had sweet talked Francis Ford Coppola, because this was in the Napa Valley. He sweet talked Francis Ford Coppola into giving us beta tapes of the original
tapes,
unedited footage from the film The Outsiders, and we were able to in our class in high school. We're able to re-edit raw like dailies footage of just B-roll and various scenes from The Outsiders that we were able to recut, and it was a whole project where we recut various scenes from the film, and everybody got together in groups to recut a scene, and it was pretty amazing to have that opportunity, regardless of how regardless of how touched the teacher was. He sweet talked the shit out of Francis Ford Coppola somehow to convince that this telecommunications class needed access to some like dope. Now that I'm thinking of it, having worked in Hollywood, it's like, wait a minute, I had access and I was able to edit and re-edit Outsiders footage.
Where was it that you worked?
It was
Extra.
Oh God. Extra.
No, I want to let everyone know, all 377 people watching the show right now.
Oh, what up, peeps?
This is going to be this is a relatively new podcast, but this is or show, YouTube show, internet show, a show on X. But this is one of the places where you're going to get a perspective of actual Hollywood insiders who used to work in the Hollywood industry. Savage is an Emmy award-winning producer from Extra. That's correct, right? Yes, exactly.
That is actually correct. That is
actually correct. And I was a creative director in entertainment advertising and marketing. So I worked on all these marketing campaigns. So
you're so good looking.
You're talking to two guys who have worked in Hollywood for combined over 35 years, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's not just some like weirdos that are just complaining and crying about Hollywood, but it's people that actually worked in the trenches in Hollywood. So that's the interesting perspective that you're always going to get every week on Wednesdays is what's happening in pop culture. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna show you some stuff, and we're gonna have a perspective that's very unique to what's happening in YouTube right now on the side of things that isn't super gross, woke, left wing, DEI.
Yeah, totally. What he said.
Yeah.
We'll
go keep watching this just a little bit.
That you want to share with your table.
These 6th graders at PS 315 in the Bronx are immersed in comic
Okay, what
books.
comic book is this kid reading?
Hold on, wait a minute. They're only using a PS 315. Fucking weak. Ugh. Consoles.
Like what comic book is this by the way? Is this like some you know what, I bet you money this is some city councilman's kid that like has a comic book and they're like, I'm gonna make the schools buy it. I guarantee you follow the money, it's gonna go back to someone's relative. It's not even like a Marvel or DC comic or like an IDW comic. That's my take. That's gonna be my hot take.
Okay. Comic books with real life superheroes.
Oh, what is that? What is this? This is not a comic book. This is someone's kid.
Who?
At the city council, this is someone's kid.
Hold on.
What is
what
this?
I think? You know what? Hold on. You know what I think you're gonna like though? That astronaut woman, she's got that lower jaw clamp to keep her mouth shut. Like you're gonna.
Oh, so real quick,
I'm kidding.
Got a text message from the Baron.
How? Oh,
correction. This is the Bronx. So this is the Bronx.
Not
Chicago's
Chicago.
reporting about it, which actually New York has a really good school system. It does.
Okay.
But this is someone in the Bronx. This is a city council person's kid or nephew that did this. This is not a comic book.
From America's past.
What is
have
this?
A bunch more.
Teacher Ruth Duran
That's not a
Chia
comic
is
book.
using
That's
graphic
someone else's
novels
dumb
to
comic
teach
book.
history.
It
Graphic
comes
novel.
to life for them, and it has some of the emotion that
She loved her husband so much that she refused to take his name.
they want to get out of history.
Hey.
They don't just want it to be facts and information.
These comics were created by New York City Public Schools, drawn by top artists in the comic.
What? This is not top artists drawing this.
Hold on. Book industry. Books on activism, Asian American history.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Are you registered to vote?
All told through vivid, colorful pictures.
Graphic novel and comic books are way better because it's more engaging and it hooks the reader more.
Duran Chia says she's...
And this is what I'm talking about. That kid summed it up perfectly. And this is why conservatives that are making YouTube channels where all they do is cry and say, oh, Hollywood's making dumb stuff. But then they never for 1 second highlight anything that's a counter to all the woke crap. They never do. They're grifting you. And then the woke people are doing this. They're going, oh, we're going to teach you how to do activism because that's something that we need more of. We need more activism. We need kids to learn about activism. Register to vote. Like these kids can't. And how much do you want to make a bet that comic book is trying to get them to register a vote for a certain party that is ruining their life and trying to enslave them? And do you think that they would ever, in a million years, give kids this comic book where they could learn about the founding fathers and what the founding fathers actually believed in? Do you think that would ever happen? Do you think that would ever happen? This one right here. And in the back of every comic book that you buy of Silence Dogood, in the back right here. So it's this whole epic story. But you'll get a history lesson, an American history lesson right there. And it's only ever going to be 3 to 4 paragraphs. Nothing ever too long. But it's this amazing thing that's just all it's going to do is teach you about principles. It's going to teach you about principles of liberty, principles of American individualism, and about the founding fathers. And it is about a teenage Benjamin Franklin who gets kidnapped by people from the future and trapped inside a VR program. that is run by an AI that thinks it's God. And this is what you get. This is what you get with this comic book. It'll have a lot of action, a lot of sci-fi, a really fun story.
So much animation,
a lot of color.
Cells. Like, it's so fun. It looks fantastic. I cannot wait to get my copy.
You get to learn a little bit about actual historical origins of Benjamin Franklin, while also getting an actual history lesson.
Well, also, switching back to my other camera.
Yeah. Well, also switching back. We're really fancy here.
I was like, dude, he did the camera swap. That was pretty great. That was awesome.
So Lennon said it. Lennon showed the way. Get them while they're young. Exactly. Get them while they're young. So, and this is an all ages comic book. Just so you know, this is an all ages comic book. There will be some mild violence because it's good versus evil, and then there's a little bit of mild language with like things like crap and damn. And I may change it to dang if you guys complain a little bit. But there's no really like bad language. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to say crap and damn, but I still did. And my mom's favorite curse word was the S word. Sorry, Mom, I told on you. But she only did it when she was really, really, really angry.
Very upset with you. Very upset with you right now.
But yeah, the graphic novel is coming out in like 2 months, and that's going to have 3 history lessons. It's going to have a bunch of art, a whole full story, 75 pages of story, and then an additional like 10 to 20 pages of extra content and art and stuff.
Content.
I don't even want to continue watching this because I already see what they're trying to do. What they're doing is they're writing original stories that is going to try to brainwash kids, man.
I don't like. They mean well. They mean well.
Do they though?
I think they do. I think they mean well, but at the same time, you're like, is this really? I do appreciate that they're trying, but maybe it's not so much that they're specifically doing this because they know they'll be able to brainwash kids this way. Maybe they are doing this because this does seem like a way better and cooler way to interact with the kids, and maybe their message is a little askew than everybody's. It's one thing, for your, message, but like it's difficult. It is difficult, especially in a school system, because you're talking to everybody. I mean, and if that's like a New York unified school district, I mean, are they doing that in just in one class? It seemed like,
yeah,
I mean, that would be crazy.
I think it just goes in par with
like what's going on.
Yeah, I just think it goes along with the whole invention of public schools, and the invention of public schools was to really kind of create drone workers to work in factories. When you think about like the origins of public schools, it was very much like the Tuskegee Institute, where it was like, we need to indoctrinate you. The Tuskegee Institute was started to educate people, and then it got controlled by white leftists who are, very much like, ooh, we're going to use this to make you into what we want. And that's what public school ended up becoming. Instead of helping kids, it was all about, getting kids to get comfortable with working at the factories and becoming little worker drones. And I think that's evolved into creating kids to be good little slaves and good little prisoners.
It does a pretty good job at that. It does a pretty good job at that.
Because like LA Unified basically might as well just have...
Or you get upset at the system and then you end up a criminal.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's LA Unified. LA Unified is like a fast track to the prison system, because California's prison system is a for-profit prison system where they go, oh, yeah, so the average income in California is like $45,000, and the average cost for a prisoner is, I think the prison system gets now from $75,000 to $82,000 a year. So it's like
that system has gotta be fucking checked. That is insane.
Yeah, so the state's getting like $80,000 a year to imprison people, and the average income is $45,000 to $50,000. I could be corrected in the chat. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here, but that's the thing that's kind of crazy. And public schools, like, that's kind of profitable if we can, we could just fail them upwards right into the prison system. Do I think it's a conspiracy theory?
I fail.
Yes, but it's also a spoiler.
It's pretty fascinating. I kind of failed upwards, but actually got very lucky at a couple of, particular parts in life, and that's probably my white privilege. But I got
You're
lucky.
always trying to bring the other's perspective, and I'm just like,
I got I got a couple of really like beneficial moments and points in life where, I was given opportunities that, maybe not everybody was given, but I was able to get out of the escalating badness and get myself onto a path where like maybe like I at least had a chance to figure it out on my own. And that's what I think I've done. I haven't done a very good job, but I've kind of been left to figure it out on my own. And, I'm able to ward off the space wizards and their woke magic, bro. But, or what, but nonetheless, it is difficult because there's a lot of, even in very are seemingly nice areas, there are a lot of school systems that maybe it's not the teachers, but like the curriculum and the students and the combination, and it's not working. And
no, it's not working
I don't
at
know
all.
it does. I don't know it does, but it's not necessarily doing a fantastic job. I don't know. I've no replacement. I don't have answers. I'm just
I'm just asking questions.
I will say that the solution is to privatize schools in general. Like, why? So you know how like a lot of parents go to these like corporate parks where there's like a couple of businesses and there's like a couple of corporations that are in that corporate park. Like Valencia had a lot of corporate parks. There should be a school right, like a K through 12 school right in the middle of that corporate park that the parent can drive to work, take the kid to school, and then drop the kid off. Parent can have lunch with the kid, have a better relationship with the kid while they're at the corporate park.
Do they have to pay for the lunch?
I mean, no. You know why? Because your tax dollars. Your tax
sounds like
dollars.
communism. Sounds like communism.
Or I don't know. You know what? I'm sure a county can figure it out.
I'm sure a county can right now. If I was on Cap Turtle right now, I'd be like, that
sounds like communism. I don't know. I'm just saying the system we currently have is not working. It is totally like it's broken. You think about it, it's like the kids are going to school well before the parents are. They're getting out of school well before the parents are getting out of work. And I mean, so the parents don't even have a relationship with their children, and then they're getting raised by these like weirdo, pink-haired, crazy communists, and our society is completely breaking down because of it. My mother-in-law is a teacher, and I love her. I mean, she taught at my high school where I met my wonderful wife, and she was a great teacher. All the kids loved her. I mean, they celebrated her for her years of service, but she taught at a private school. Public school, no. Failure, abject failure, and it shows because China is kicking our ass, man. Kicking our ass. It's not good. It's not great.
Our asses being kicked by China.
China. They're doing AI. They've got math. They're learning how to shoot guns.
They're doing AI all right.
Yeah, my Trump is not very good, but
I got a question. What do you think? What do you think about Chinese arms? What do you think about
literal arms? Like
about the manufactured weapons that China could possibly be producing? Because they need to be producing them themselves, I would think, for their ridiculous size armies. Or are they getting them all from Russia, do you think? Because Russia...
I don't know.
Did you hear the news today about Putin went to North Korea? And Putin went to North Korea, and today they... Russia and North Korea signed an agreement of mutual defense or mutual or whatever they called it, mutual aggression, whatever they called it. If either of them is attacked, the one will come to the other's defense. It's like a big, and it was like,
it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And that was a really dumb thing. That was really a dumb thing that I don't think a lot of left-wing people got with Trump was so the Republicans kind of screwed us. Well, no, hold on. The Republicans kind of screwed us because the whole strategy of being like Nixon's strategy of being friends with China was actually smart, because it was like, let's be friends with China. Let's kind of alienate Russia, because Russia was the thing going, communist Russia, the USSR.
It was that was also a very pivotal moment.
Yeah, it was very pivotal, but it was strategic. It was like, let's be friends with their closest ally. Let's get them to be our friend. And that was the beginning. And then that helped Reagan kind of do what he did with the Berlin Wall and all of that, and really helped end the USSR. It did. It was the beginning pebble that created the snowball effect that ended the USSR.
Okay.
And what we should have done, what would have been smart, was especially should have been led by both Republicans and Democrats. It should have been a uniparty led thing, was to now become friends with Russia and alienate communist China. But Mitt Romney and other Republican jackasses were like, no, we're going to make a lot more money selling all our jobs over to China to make our crap instead of making America better. And then Trump started to see it and be like, oh, yeah, let's maybe alienate China a little bit. And they're like, no, let's just keep going after Russia, which then pushes Russia right into China's hands. You're dumb. You're so dumb. Sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's so the game of the game of chess. It's two extremely different ways of playing chess. It's the lull. One is the lull your opponent, and the other is like the aggressive, stance. And
yeah,
I have zero grounds to stand on when discussing geopolitics like this. But the information coming in hot off the AP wire today, ripping it off, I was like, oh, Putin went to they announced on Russian television Putin went to North Korea. Russia has just signed an agreement with North Korea that says we will have a mutual defense, or whatever the heck it was, of we will come to each other's defense in the event of foreign aggression of any kind. However they want to word it. It's I'm sure it was also worded in a different language, so we'll just make it however it sounds bad to us. It's fine. But nonetheless, it's like, fuck, man. Like, it's not great. And what I was initially trying to bring up was, is China making quality arms? Because I know when it comes to axes, steel that comes out of China is garbage. It's garbage steel. It's garbage. Their steel is terrible. And if your steel is terrible, I mean, maybe they're saving their good steel for the arms. I mean, they are China. They know maybe they know what they're doing. They got a lot of steel. They got a lot of room to work with. But if the fundamental stuff that's coming out of your country, like if your steel is garbage, like how do you think their arms are? And if you're arming 1 billion people, and you're
it's crazy, dude. It's not good.
Are they getting Russian arms? Like, and Russia, who's even making the Russian arms now? Because most of those people have been sent off to fight, right?
Yeah.
Who's even working in the factories right now? What's going on?
I don't know. Well,
I have zero idea. I'm just like, what the fuck?
They still have a lot of people.
I'm sure that, Russia is a very, very big country. But all right, so some other stuff that was just coming in. What is this thing? I just saw this thing about the multiverse of Uncle Scrooge coming to Marvel. Let me bring this up on the screen.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got it. This is awesome.
You just sent this to me. So the multiverse of Uncle Scrooge comes to Marvel. Jason Aaron, Paolo Matura, and Francesco I apologize, have launched the new Uncle Scrooge comic book from Marvel Comics. New Uncle Scrooge launched. Jason Aaron brings multiverse concepts to Scrooge's adventures. Ooh, multiverse concepts, which is rad. They've already introduced that, I think, but
yeah, how cool is this though? I mean, I love so real quick, though I do have to say, my very first comic books that I ever got,
Big fan. So go ahead.
I was 5 years old, and my very first comic books were Walt Disney, Donald Duck comic books, and Uncle Scrooge was a big character in those comic books. And I just loved them when I was a kid. But that was my introduction into comic books was Donald Duck.
So it's done by written by the same guy that's also relaunching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now. Aaron also wrote the recent multiverse heavy Avengers run, which I haven't the comic book run. I haven't even seen that, but and it's what he has carried over into the Uncle Scrooge, or rather Uncle Scrooge is. So he's doing a full-on multiverse. Uncle Scrooge, all up and down the probability matrix, an adventurer in pursuit of profit. Has anyone done the colonial critique of Uncle Scrooge? Given that he is hoarding the world's wealth, he makes the British Museum look like someone collecting Pokemon. That's pretty great. But
this sounds actually really good, man.
I think these are all the ads that I've blocked. Look at that. This is ad blocker.
Oh yeah,
right
totally.
here.
Ad blocker actually kind of working.
These are kind of, and that they're yelling at each other. He's like, "No, go fuck you." It's like Spider-Man. They're like, "Wait, no, you. Oh, and this is the scientist dude. What was his name? Scrooge, Gyro Gearloose, playing the role of Reed Richards. Wait, something like that. Yeah. This is interesting. All right. What else? This is just Uncle Scrooge Infinity Dime #1, Alex Ross. This is the place
Hold
to
that
start.
thought while you pull up that other news article, and then I'll be right back, and you can tell the audience about that next one. And then there's one thing I think I want to end on that note, and then what I want to end on, but I'll be right back, guys.
Wait, what did you?
The second one.
No.
The banana.
I'm just curious.
Just read it. Read it to the audience, because you're gonna be like, "What is this?"
You're leaving me.
Oh no, not that. We don't want that.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Where'd it go? All right. Let's present it right here. We're gonna share the screen. Banana clicking game. What is this? Banana clicking game. Banana beats Hogwarts Legacy and Baldur's Gate on Steam's all-time most popular list. Wait, what? A banana clicking game did? Oh, let's zoom in a little bit. Banana clicking game Banana has now knocked off smash hit role-playing game Hogwarts Legacy and Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam's most popular games of all time list. The game, which is literally about clicking an image of a banana over and over, now sits in 9th place on Steam's most popular games list per concurrent players. Its peak is now 884,469, more than Hogwarts Legacy, 879,308, and Baldur's Gate 3 at 875,343. This also means Banana is creeping up on 8th place New World, which has peak of 900 more. Oh my God. Okay. It's just a banana clicking game. That's amazing.
Like, how is that? Like, how is that happening? What is going on?
The original story, Banana, is a clicker game in which you click a banana, reads its official synopsis, get a random banana every 3 hours, and grow your collection. Banana currently has a very positive rating on Steam, with 88% of players recommending.
America has jumped the shark. The West has jumped the shark. We've jumped the shark.
What the fuck?
We've jumped the shark.
Have we clicked the banana?
Yeah, the West is done. I mean, if this is not evidence that the West is done.
Click the banana, folks. I don't know.
I don't know what is.
Are we done, or are we just thirsty for exotic fruits? I don't know.
No.
I mean, that's fascinating, though. First of all, Scrooge McDuck multiverse. Hell yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds awesome. We do have to wrap it up. Though.
Okay, yeah. And then we come in hot with, oh my God, we 2 top 5'd it today. I think we did pretty awesome.
We
Not
did,
gonna lie.
we did.
I'm
But I
pretty
wanted
stoked.
to wrap up everything just to, as a reminder for all 390 people watching the show right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just so this is what I want to leave people with. This is one of my most favorite bands of all time, and a song that gets you thinking about maybe, just maybe, don't vote for Democrats. Don't vote for Democrats.
I can't see World War III. When are you coming for me? Been kicking up sparks. We set the flames free. The windows are locked now, so what'll it be? A house on fire, a rising sea.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that, but all right.
I love Arcade Fire. That's Arcade Fire, Windowsill.
all
That
right,
always gets me thinking about the band's Arcade Fire. The song is
Yeah.
Windowsill. World War III. When are you coming for me? Like that. Those lyrics just like that makes me think like stop voting for the Democrats, please. You don't necessarily have to vote for the Republicans because D is for demonic, R is for retard. But let's not start World War III by voting for Democrats. Let's not start World War III by voting for Democrats, please.
Oh
Please.
my.
Because if you think about all the world wars, who was president when we had a world war? Just saying. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm just saying? It's been a hell of a show.
It has been a hell of a show.
And this is probably one of my favorite shows. We've had a hell of a run. 2 top 5s, like I said, man, 2 top 5s. And with Uncapped Turtle with the dope top 5 animation. Big shout out to him one more time because he's always hooking us up.
Yep. Big shout out
Uncapped. Bunch of people in the chat. Amoeba's been here the whole time. Have a good night, Amoeba. Would super appreciate it. Really appreciate your support as always. Simply Green still hanging out. Holy moly, the Baron still holding it down in the chat. I don't even know how the Baron. The Baron is always taking care of business. I'm like, are they even still around? Oh man, still here, handling business.
All right, we're gonna walk out of this show with a really amazing song from my friend Gary Eaton. Do a little dance off.
What am I doing here all alone? I got things that I gotta do. Waiting for my friends to come along. I don't mean to sound so lonely. I can't help it if I'm blue. Waiting for my friends to come along. I can't wait till Friday evening. I take a shower and wash away all that's wrong. And then I get up.
All right. Thank you for all for being here.
Peace out, everybody.
Salty and savage.